911, where's your emergency?
Yes, Ethan. My wife, my family are eating.
Okay, have they been shot? Have they been stabbed?
I don't know. I don't believe it, oh God.
98 years old, just living out her days. And here's my son. My mother, and all these people out here. And it's my son. My son.
This is Stephen Ramsey, a father blindsided by an unthinkable truth. At this moment, he is utterly shell-shocked, grappling with the horrifying revelation about his teenage son, Gavin Ramsey.
Engaging sex with her. Was she still alive when he was doing that? No, I don't believe. Oh my God.
This haunting footage of 98-year-old Margaret Douglas was taken mere moments before one of the most horrifying acts of human cruelty unfolded. The father uncovered a dark secret about his teenage son, something he could never have imagined. But even more disturbing truths were about to surface, sending chills down their spines. The mystery of Margaret's death, the gruesome violation of her body, and the twisted motive behind the unthinkable crime left the detectives shocked.
Watcher Police.
Yes, this is Howard Leisure. My aunt lives on Portage Street,
Okay.
and a friend of ours stopped over there yesterday to check on her, and she was nowhere to be found. We didn't know if you'd found anybody wandering.
No, we don't have any reports of anybody wandering.
We can't find her in the house anywhere. He went in the house and looked through the whole house, couldn't find her. We don't know where she's at. She's 98 years old.
Did she live there by herself?
She lives there by herself, yes.
What's her name?
Margaret Douglas. And she never locks her house.
98-year-old woman died after she was reported missing yesterday. Police said she was found in a hidden location in her house.
Initially, the police struggled to identify a prime suspect, as most leads led to dead ends. However, that soon changed when they began receiving complaints about petty crimes near Margaret's house. One report in particular caught their attention. A man named Paul recounted meeting a young man on the dating app Grindr. The two arranged to meet, but the young man suddenly became aggressive during their encounter, pushed Paul out of his car, and drove off with his belongings. A few days later, the police were alerted to two young men behaving suspiciously in parking lots. Not long after, they broke into a construction site and made a critical mistake. One left behind a cell phone. The phone was traced to a teenager named Braden, who was quickly identified and brought in for questioning. During his interrogation, Braden revealed the name of his accomplice. His partner in crime, 17-year-old Gavin Ramsey, had a long history of petty offenses in the area. Consequently, Gavin was summoned for questioning on April 13, 2018, accompanied by his mother, Christine Ramsey, to address the break-ins.
We're here, so I'm just going to ask them.
Right.
Oh, it's going to be straightforward, you know? There's no reason for me to fluff anything up.
Nope.
And I'm sure you guys know about the elderly woman that was found.
Oh my God, that was horrifying. That was horrifying. It is horrifying.
Did you know her at all?
No, other than just to see her out, like on a porch. That actually makes me want to cry. Like, how do you get to be 98 years old? Nobody lives to be 98. It's so rare. And someone else thought that that was okay. Like, how does that, I don't know. Like, why does your life end like that?
Kevin, do you know anything about it?
No. Honestly, probably 5 or 6 people.
That you talked to? Is that what you're saying? Is there something else you need to tell us? What's upsetting you so much?
No.
I've been doing this for a little while, and I have a whole gaggle of children of my own, ranging from the age of 26 all the way down to 10, so I'm pretty good with this stuff.
The investigator emphasizes her maternal role, even sharing personal details from her life. This approach is a calculated strategy to build trust with the suspect and encourage him to open up further.
I asked, did you get put in a bad situation? Did somebody put you in a bad situation?
No.
No.
Yeah, let's look at it this way. Honesty is always what's best.
I'm not holding anything back. Like,
You've already gotten yourself in trouble, so.
I know, and I don't even. I don't know what to say.
Is there more? Because you know it all
No,
comes out.
It's not that there's anything more. It's what the dude.
What have I always told you kids? What happens in the dark comes out in the light. That's the way it works. You mess up, you get caught. You make bad choices, you're going to pay for it. So if there's something else, let's get it all out on the table so that we know what we're dealing with.
At this point, Gavin's mother, Christine Ramsey, shifted from a reserved stance to siding with the police, a common reaction among parents when confronted with their child's misbehavior. However, she was still unaware of the horrifying truth about what her son had done.
There's not anything else. It's, I don't know, I'm mad at myself. I'm so mad at myself.
What are you so mad at yourself for?
I was 16 and already had a felony and like 5 misdemeanors, and now I'm gonna be in more trouble. I have to go back to court, and I'm done with it. I'm so done with it.
That's fair enough.
Like, honestly, I don't even want to live at home anymore. I don't know. I'm not normal. I need to live somewhere else. Like in, I don't know, some halfway house or something. I honestly would not care.
Why would you want to live in a halfway house? What is so wrong about living at home?
No, there's nothing that they do. It's me. Like, everything I'm putting them through, I'm costing them thousands of dollars. Constant heartbreak. I've honestly probably never made either of them proud. I don't do anything good.
Stop cussing.
It's a word.
Well, it's disrespectful.
So you're upset with yourself?
Yeah, I hate myself. That's really it.
You know, the suspicious death of the elderly woman is there too.
God, I know.
That's why I'm saying, you know, I can't imagine you doing something like that. I just interacting with you this little bit, I can't imagine that's in your wheelhouse.
No.
But, you know, if we would come to find out that you're not being honest about something that, you know, puts you back on the list of people to take a look at.
Right.
You know, so it's a serious situation. That's why I want to make sure.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Honestly, can you two actually leave for a second?
What's that?
Can you two actually leave? So I can talk to her.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
Sure.
This moment marks a turning point in the conversation as Gavin decides to reveal the truth. The investigators' earlier tactics, assuming a motherly role with empathy and care, appeared to be yielding results.
See, when you were holding her hand over her mouth, you might have pushed too hard and maybe made her nosebleed.
Yeah.
Upon investigating the body, the officers noted several disturbing findings. The victim's nightgown had been completely unbuttoned, exposing torn underwear. Her neck and face were marked with multiple signs of trauma, indicating she had been assaulted and strangled with the perpetrator's bare hands.
Something like this is very uncommon. I've been here for over 25 years, and I've never seen a case quite like this one.
So, were you in her house for a little while before you woke her up?
I mean, I came up onto the porch, and I didn't even know what I was going to do. And I looked in the window and everything. I don't know, I felt like going into a house is like the biggest adrenaline rush I could get, I guess. So then I tried the doorknob and that just happened to be unlocked.
Was it the front door or back door?
Or back door.
Okay. So you went into the kitchen?
Was like the TV on or something? When you went in? I don't think so. thought she didn't hear it or something. Well, she was already asleep whenever I went in, because when I came around the corner, that's where I saw her, and it scared me. Because I didn't expect to see someone right there, because I didn't hear anything. So I came in, like, I opened the door, and I just listened. And then I didn't hear anything, so maybe nobody's home. And then I go to walk around that corner, and I'm still going slow, but I see her, and she's, I don't know, like sleeping or something.
The crime that the detectives are dealing with involves an individual exhibiting traits of psychopathy, a condition in forensic psychology marked by persistent antisocial behavior, impulsivity, selfishness, callousness, emotional detachment, and a lack of remorse. As revealed in later footage, Gavin's psychopathy is compounded by sadism and sexual perversions, including necrophilia.
And then I go to turn around and hit the chair, and it made a noise, and she woke up.
And she started to scream at that point, you said?
Yeah, because like when I hit the chair, I like turned back around, and I looked, and she was there staring at me and started to yell. And then went for the phone. She already knew what it looked like.
Were you trying to get like that when she went for the phone? Is that when you were trying to get the phone away from her so she couldn't call? Did you not get out of the way, or is that what you guys fight with the phone?
It was like a little bit of a fight. I think I threw it under the couch. I'm not really sure.
You guys ended up on the floor at that point?
Yeah, I don't even know where the phone went.
When you say you guys were on the floor, like her gown, the floor.
Yeah, because she was still.
Well, her underwear, I guess.
I don't even know if she was wearing underwear.
Okay.
Because when she was on the couch, like she grabbed the phone and everything, it was still like yelling, and I don't know if she dialed anything yet or not, but I just didn't know what to do, and then that happened. By the time I even realized what I was doing, it was too late to stop anything.
And when you realized that's when you were on the floor on top of her with your hands on her.
On a hidden app called Dark, secured by the passcode MURDER, Gavin stored several videos that he recorded in the early hours of April 6, 2018, when he committed this horrific crime. He broke into Margaret's house through a back door and watched her as she slept on the couch. Suddenly, Margaret woke with a look of fear on her face, prompting Gavin to lunge at her and strangle her to death. He then spent the next few hours indulging his twisted desires, using Margaret's lifeless body.
Now, there's a couple of videos of you kind of peeking over the edge of the couch and videotaping her. When was that all done?
That was on the same night. Why did I lie about anything? That was stupid.
Okay. So when you went in the house earlier?
No, like I never went to the house before, but like I went in and I was being quiet and everything. And like how it happened, like I wasn't lying about that, but I did, you know, like I turned the corner and did see her.
And you hid?
Yeah, then I hid and I was taking my phone. I was taking pictures to see if she was awake.
I got you.
And then
she saw you?
And we stood up and she saw me.
Did your flash go off on your phone?
I don't think so.
So from there, is that did you tell us the truth about the rest of that? So how long do you think you were in the house before you woke her up?
I don't know, probably like 10, 15 minutes.
And then from the time you woke her up to the time you ended up on top of her, choking her, how long did that whole part take?
That was probably like 5 minutes.
So pretty quick. So she tries to get the phone, you try and stop her. You guys struggle to the floor and you end up on top of her with your hands on her neck. And you're pushing and squeezing. You have your hand over her mouth at the same time?
Well, my hand on her mouth was on the couch.
Okay.
And then, I don't know, rolled or something off the couch.
Was she like fighting back with you then, trying to struggle, and then you guys went down?
Yeah. I think on her way down or something got ripped.
But you don't remember ripping her panties? How long did you stay there before you put her in the closet?
That was probably like 30 minutes. I just kind of sat there and I didn't know like what was going on. Like I was so in shock.
When questioned by the detective about how long he'd been inside the house, Gavin falsely claimed it was only 30 minutes. However, the timestamps on the videos from his phone revealed that he had spent several hours there, further exposing his dishonesty.
Was there any adrenaline with that? No.
It was like adrenaline and shock at the same time. So like 1 second I'm like, I don't know, adrenaline.
Like, and the next thing you know, it's like
It's
overload.
I don't know what's happened.
Yeah.
So what did you do with your gloves when you left?
We rode away
Where at?
in the trash can.
At home. There's a glove there. Could you have dropped one?
There was a glove there. I guess I did drop one then.
There was purple stuff on it. What was the purple stuff that was on there? I get it that there's a whole piece of this that you don't understand why you do. Okay? I understand the whole piece that you don't understand. And I get that. Did the purple stuff have to do with the whole piece that you don't understand why you do? No. And is that the same time that you were taking some of those pictures?
Yeah, and after I took those pictures, I was like, what?
That's when the shock set in?
Yeah, it's like, what am I doing?
So it was adrenaline all the way up until then. And then the whole shock took over the overload. Is that right?
It sounds right.
I know. It's hard.
Gavin made a crucial mistake by wearing gloves and leaving one behind at Margaret's house. During the crime scene investigation, detectives discovered the glove, and test results confirmed the presence of Margaret's DNA on the outside and Gavin's on the inside, sealing his connection to the crime.
She may have asked this, but did you mean to hurt Margaret like that?
No. No.
Or was it just the shock?
The shock.
You said you just started doing it, and by the time you realized that she had died, it was too late.
Nothing I can do.
Is that why you punched the wall at school? Was that main frustration? How did that chunk out of your hand? You don't say it hurt.
Sorry. I think I broke my hand or my pinky. I didn't even care. I was just mad because I finished my test in math, and then I saw a text from that said the cops had my phone. I'm like, great. And then Miss rings. I'm like, that's for me, I guarantee it. I'm looking at her, and she looks at me, and she, like, go to the office. I'm like, great.
That's for the break-in type stuff. It was full of
Yeah.
Okay.
Full of stuff.
Yeah, the church, yeah, I'm sorry.
Did you guys go in the church? No. You just
No.
set off the alarm about messing with the windows?
Yeah. Like,
Were you going to go into the church before the alarm went off?
I don't really know what we were going to do at the church. I didn't even hear the alarms go off. And he's like, dude, the alarms are going off. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I listened. I'm like, we should probably go. good.
Did you feel weird going out and like given some cars are trying to break that place, knowing what you've already been through in Margaret's house? That seems strange. Or just kind of like the thought of past on. Because it's over, you can't change it.
Was it less of an adrenaline rush?
Yeah. It wasn't.
Was there that same adrenaline when you were on top of Margaret? Did you have that same adrenaline?
That was,
Feeling? Or was it a little bit different?
well, like, that and going to break into cars.
Yeah.
I mean, cars is like that.
Quick fix.
It's just that, you know what, when you go to open the door handle, it's like, is the alarm going to go off? Is someone going to come outside? So it's like, there's that risk. And then, the whole breaking into the house, that was the adrenaline part. I think, I don't know, I didn't even have a grip on reality.
Chaos ensues when Gavin's parents discover the terrifying secret their son has been hiding.
All the phone contained images of Margaret before and after her death, as well as videos of your son with her.
Okay.
With her. Engaging in sex with her.
Was she still alive when he was doing that?
No, I don't like.
Oh my God. This isn't happening. This isn't real. Oh my God.
I wanted you to know, I spoke to the director of the juvenile detention facility. I explained the situation. I explained that he was highly emotionally distraught. I asked him to defer to watch.
Okay.
I've asked him to take, to keep him under 24/7 observation.
Okay.
I know this is an emotionally devastating situation.
I just know right now.
It's a horrible set of circumstances. You deserve to know he will be tried as an adult. Oh my God, oh my God. 98 years old. Just living out her days. And here's my son. My son did this. And I'm mother all these people out here. And it's my son.
Does Gavin understand he's going to prison? Probably for the rest of his life.
Meanwhile, Gavin appeared to be grappling with a similar thought inside the interrogation room.
What do you think's even going to happen with me?
I think you're going to go to juvenile detention. And you're going to do some time in jail.
How long do you think?
I don't know. I just don't know, Gavin. But I do know that your mom absolutely loves you, and you are a huge part of her world. And she needs you to be here.
But that's what I'm most upset about.
But I want you to remember that. I don't want you to forget that, okay? You can't.
I don't, it's the only thing that's kept me going. My mom.
She seems like a pretty fantastic lady.
She is.
And she loves you more than anything, so if anybody can get you through this and get you what you need to fix whatever's going on with you, it's your mom.
But that's the thing. I don't know if this can be fixed. Because it doesn't feel like it's some regular emotion. This feels like it's natural, and I don't want it to be.
Anything can be fixed. Yeah.
I wasn't blowing smoke when I told you you were a nice kid. You know, you seem like a super nice kid. There's got to be something that, that's making all this happen for you, right?
Probably, but I don't know what.
So you're kind of fixing it now, don't you think?
No, that's made it a whole lot worse.
That's a big weight to be carrying around, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of monkey on your back that you've been toting, and now you're not toting it anymore. Now you get to heal.
During their search, police discovered a journal in Gavin's bedroom that revealed he had again withheld the truth. The journal began with research on serial killers Donald Henry Gaskins and Ted Bundy, but soon shifted to ideas for skits and short films, each featuring Gavin in the role of a killer. In almost every story, Braden played the victim. As chilling as these entries were, Gavin's thoughts were most disturbing. One entry read, "I want to know what's wrong with me. Sometimes I just want to go off on someone and beat them until they're not breathing anymore. It's not for attention or anything. I honestly want to take someone's life." In another entry, he wrote, "I don't feel empathy or sympathy for anybody. I just don't care."
You ever told your counselor about any of the thoughts that you have?
I did a lot, and she didn't. She started with trying to treat the depression first, and it wasn't working for a little bit. I still tried to kill myself, but I didn't.
No, it's not right.
No, I didn't. I don't care what happens to me. Like, honestly, I don't. It's what happened. Like, what would it do to my mom? Like, I killed myself, and my mom said she couldn't go another day if I died. I'm not gonna kill myself because of that.
So it's more for her, not for you.
Yeah, I don't care about me. I don't.
You do. People care about you.
Other people might, but I just.
It's because you're dealing with so much. That's why you don't. But deep down, you still do. Because people that truly don't anymore, they don't want to do it. You have the heart. That's why.
The night you were out at Margaret's, had you drank or smoked anything? Done any that night?
No, that I was actually sober that night, which is another reason why I smoke weed and I drink, because I can't handle myself when I'm sober, or I can't comprehend. I don't even know the word to use. My thoughts when I'm sober are dark. When I'm high, they're like good thoughts.
Had you ever thought about harming anybody before or taking someone's life before?
Not like planning it out, but like, oh, I'm so mad I can kill someone right now. Like that kind of thing.
But you never imagined yourself actually doing it?
No, I could never vision myself.
Like, wonder what would you did.
I couldn't, like, I don't know, like some stuff you think about yourself in that situation, like, yeah, I could see that. And then, like, I think about a car crash or something, me dying in a car crash, I'd be like, yeah, I see that. Something else that doesn't necessarily involve me dying, or even like me being injured. Like, yeah, but I think about me killing someone, I'm like, I can't see that. I can't.
Gavin had been in and out of counseling for years, during which he was diagnosed with ADHD and depression. Another chilling entry in his journal revealed the depth of his depravity. He wrote, "I think if counseling doesn't help, I'm honestly going to kill someone. I'll probably take a girl out to the woods, rape her, and kill her. I wouldn't feel bad about it, but I know it's wrong."
If she was here, what would you say to her?
Like, what do you mean?
If she you were lying in front of you, what would you say to her?
I'm sorry. That was never meant to happen. If I could take it back, I would.
Gavin's confession brought a bittersweet relief to a community overwhelmed by grief since Margaret's tragic death. It wasn't just the loss of a cherished member, but the horrific nature of her murder that haunted everyone, leaving an indelible scar on their hearts.
For a lady to be 98 years old and have a 17-year-old young man come in and take advantage of her like that, he could have taken the wallet and left. He didn't need to strangle her.
Makes me sad that it happened, but I am glad that, we know who did it and we don't have to fear in our neighborhoods.
When the trial began, Margaret's family and the prosecutor were determined to secure Gavin's maximum sentence.
She loved being alive. She often talked that she just couldn't wait until she turned 100.
I find him to be pathetic and a coward and someone that preyed on the most vulnerable person he could find and attack her in her most vulnerable moment, in the middle of the night when she was asleep. He broke into her house, watched her sleeping, and took videos of her sleeping. He then held her against her will, hit her, and strangled her. And I believe that he planned to kill numerous people and used my aunt as a warm-up, so to speak, for those other killings. I feel the escalation of his crimes through the years show his inability to reform. He is not safe to be on the streets. He will hurt people again. He will kill people again.
Even though he stalked her, and even though he murdered her, and he videoed her, and abused her, and disrobed her, and used jelly, and stuffed the body in a closet, and had time to search and ransack the house and find the wallet, he was always mindful of the time, Your Honor.
Gavin's mother also took the stand to support her son.
He's loyal to a fault. He's compassionate. And this thing that we're sitting here discussing is not who my son is. I don't care how much you want to point out evil facts. That's not my son.
I wrote this down because I knew I wouldn't know what to say on the spot. I don't know how to explain why all this happened. I don't think there really is an explanation to begin with. I think about it all the time. And I would take it back in a heartbeat if I could. I feel terrible for what I've done. And I would never do anything like that again. I'm so sorry for what I did. And I constantly live in regret and shame because of it. I wish I had the words to express how sorry I really am.
On January 3rd, 2019, Gavin Ramsey was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for the aggravated murder of Margaret Douglas. He was also given a 10-year sentence for aggravated burglary, kidnapping, and a 12-month sentence for abuse of a corpse. Gavin Ramsey's crimes shocked the community and left a lasting impact on the loved ones of Margaret Douglas. With his conviction and life sentence, justice was served, though the horror of his actions will never be forgotten. But what about Gavin's character? Was he truly remorseful for his actions, or was he a criminal psychopath who might have escalated to becoming a serial killer had he not been caught? And what does his behavior reveal, especially when considering the horrific condition in which Margaret was found? Let us know your thoughts on the case in the comments section.
So now what you're doing is you're just selling me a load of bullshit. You're basically pissing on my back and telling me it's right here.
But I'm telling you, there was a fourth person in that car.
This is 26-year-old Stephen Monroe, arguably one of the most arrogant suspects the detectives have ever encountered. He's accused of shooting to death 16-year-old Noah Smith during a gang fight. The detective wastes no time in giving him a brutal reality check.
You need to tell me the truth. The truth that happened that night is that you guys go down there, you're in the front seat, you have your Glock on you, this boy shot at you and tried to kill you. You guys pull around and you shot at him back. Was it self-defense?
I never had a gun, bro.
But getting closure from Stephen won't be as easy as the detectives thought. Instead, they're about to be met with even more arrogance and a twist they never saw coming.
I didn't shoot.
Oh,
That's what I'm telling you, bro. That's all I can tell you.
What caliber gun did you shoot that night?
I didn't shoot any gun.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
On January 12, 2022, 26-year-old Stephen Monroe, 23-year-old Tyrese Patterson, and 16-year-old Devondre Williams were in a black Kia Niro SUV driving through Bunnell, Florida. They went live on Instagram at 5 p.m., taunting Ed Sampson, a guy from a rival gang. They were daring him to fight. The trio circled the area around 405 South Anderson Street several times, seemingly looking for trouble. Around 10 p.m., Monroe and Patterson opened fire at Terrell Sampson, Ed Sampson's brother, sparking a dangerous exchange of gunfire. In the chaos, Terrell's friend, 16-year-old Noah Smith, stepped outside his house, completely unaware of the ongoing gang conflict. A bullet struck him, passed through his body, and killed him instantly. Stephen Monroe and the other suspects were finally arrested in May 2022, months after evading law enforcement. Once in custody, Stephen was brought into the interrogation room, where the pressure of the situation began to overpower him. As the detectives pressed for answers, Stephen did his best to manipulate and evade them, but the truth slowly began to surface.
So, some of the things that we want to talk about here today is basically clarification on some of the stuff from the incident with Noah Smith from January. Okay, so we have spent obviously hundreds, thousands of hours collecting all the information from everybody that was there, all the cameras, all the cell phone records, all the Instagram records, all that. So there's some inconsistencies in what you told us that we need to clarify, okay? Now, I want to ask you one more time, who was in the car the night when you left Rose Petal Drive and you went down to Bunnell that ultimately ended up with Noah Smith passing away?
Some dude that I didn't know, and then it was me, Dre, and Pooh.
Okay, where were you seating?
On this, behind the dude on the left side, from the dude that I didn't know.
Okay, so who was in the front seat?
I think Pooh and Dre was on the right side of me.
Okay, so this is that, and I'm glad that's the first thing you said, because this is the inconsistencies that we have. Okay, so we've met with Dre, and we've also met with Tyrese.
Okay.
All right, they have made it very clear exactly what occurred that night, and what we've determined is that you're being less than honest with us. Yes, about who was in the car that night and where everybody was seated.
No, sir.
Well, all the evidence would suggest that you're not telling us the exact story. We know that there was only 3 people in the car that night. So this guy that you've talked about, this guy with the wigs that was supposedly driving the car, we can tell at this point for sure that that person does not exist. Okay, we know who was driving because they've told us out of their own mouth that they were driving. Devondre Williams, in an interview with his mom and us, sat there and told us very clearly that he drove the car down to Bunnell that night. Okay, and he said very clearly that only him, you, and Tyrese Patterson were in that car.
It's not true.
Okay, well, in an independent, separate conversation with Tyrese Patterson today, Tyrese Patterson confirmed that Devondre Williams was driving, and then you and Tyrese Patterson were on the right side of the car. Okay, so we have witnesses, cameras, cell phone records. When phones are in a car with each other, they communicate with each other, and they can kind of tell who's all touching each other's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and all this. And there is no 4th phone in the car, no 4th person. How would you say that? Okay, are you sure you're talking about the same night that I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I'll just tell you what they told us. They told us that Devondre was driving the car. You guys leave Rose Petal. You drive down to Bunnell. Tyrese says that you guys were going to his grandma's house to pick up some weed. You pass the block. Terrell Sampson standing on the corner. Terrell starts shooting at you guys. You make the block, come around. Shots were returned at Terrell Sampson. Okay? We have been told that Devondre Williams had a gun, but he did not shoot anybody that night. Okay? So Devondre was driving. Tyrese was in the back seat on the passenger side, and you were in the front on the passenger side. Okay? Shots were fired at Terrell Sampson. Nobody hit Terrell Sampson. All right? Some would say unfortunately. I don't want to say that, but some would say that.
That's not the truth.
Okay. Well, we have also reviewed all your Instagram stuff, your cell phone. We've gone through everything. There's no mention of any 4th person. We interviewed everybody that was at the house that night. We talked to Adrian, Crystal, Glib, Nevaeh, everybody clearly states that there was no fourth person in the car that night. It was just the three of you. Now, what you're risking is, if this is not true, what you're risking is now you have become the only person that's not telling the truth about this.
I'm telling you the truth.
Okay.
There was 4 people in that car.
Okay.
The detective lays it all out. Step by step, he walks Stephen through the events of January 12th, establishing a timeline. Every turn of the SUV, every word from Instagram Live. It's all there. Nothing is left to the imagination. And the real punch? Tyrese Patterson and Devondre Williams have already cracked. They've confessed, and their stories perfectly align with the timeline the detective now presents. It seems like it feels like a classic checkmate, but somehow Stephen still won't fold. Whether it's fear, pride, or pure stubbornness, he clings to denial and his story of the imaginary fourth person in the car. As if lying about the fourth person wasn't enough, Stephen is going to dig his own grave with even more arrogance.
Tyrese Patterson just told me 5 minutes ago that Dre was driving, Dre hands him a gun. You have your own gun. And you and Tyrese fire at Terrell.
Of course they gonna try to put me in it.
Well, Dre said the same thing.
Of course they gonna try to put me in it. They both got a lot against me.
What does Dre have against you? It seems like you and Dre are pretty tight.
Well, I had gave them the house, like I said, because they didn't have nowhere to stay.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And none of them was paying bills, so I had to dismiss it. You feel me? Because nobody was paying bills. So they was pretty much had to find their own way of doing things. And since I was moving, nobody was gonna have nowhere to go. You feel me? But I wasn't finna stay somewhere where nobody was finna pay the bills and I'm just paying it by myself.
Fair.
So, and
that would lead them to tell on themselves and implicate themselves in a homicide?
Because they're already in some stuff. So of course they're gonna try to drag whoever they can into it.
Well, I'll use this word because this is exactly what happened. But Tyrese Patterson confessed to shooting and accidentally hitting Noah Smith today.
Okay.
Dre confessed to driving the car after Terrell Sampson shot at the car. Dre says he looped around the block, gave the gun to Pooh. You and Pooh shoot down the block. Okay.
That's still not true.
All right. Well, there was 2 guns used in the shooting.
Okay.
We're being told that both guns were given to you to get rid of. Okay?
That's crazy.
That's what they're saying. Listen, I don't have a crystal ball.
Yeah.
All right? I'm not a magician, unfortunately. I can't tell you exactly what happened. I can only tell you what we're being told. And that is what we're being told, and it matches up with the evidence a heck of a lot more than this guy that you're saying that you don't know, you've never met before, and just happens to show up the night that there's a shooting in Benel. And
I understand what you're hearing. I understand what I'm risking.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, there was a 4th person in that car.
Okay.
And I know where I was sitting, and I know exactly what I saw. You feel me?
Okay.
Stephen now claims he was the one sheltering Tyrese and Devondre, and that he gave them a place and paid their bills. But as he's on the hot seat, he says they've turned on him out of spite. Maybe there's some truth in that grudge. But here's the thing. Holding a grudge is one thing, but admitting to a killing? That's something entirely different. Tyrese has already admitted to pulling the trigger that struck Noah Smith, calling it an accident in the heat of a gang-fueled crossfire. The pieces line up, yet Stephen continues to hold back. But why? Why would he be deflecting if he didn't pull the trigger?
So, what do you know about this 4th person?
Nothing. I just know that he had wicks. I ain't never seen him before.
So what?
The first time I seen him, like I said, because Pooh came to the house with him and they asked us, because it was just me and Dre at the house at first. Well, and besides the other people that was there, you feel me? And he came and he asked us, do we want to smoke? And I said, yeah. You feel me? So we all got in the car. And then, like I said, we went to Benel and we started smoking. And that's when all of that stuff happened.
And what? So, but Pooh was at the house all day.
No, Pooh was not at the house all day.
Where was he?
I don't know. But
So you guys
at the house all day. Dre, it was like I said, it was me. It was Lil. No, Lil wasn't there. It was me. It was Nevaeh. It was Adrian. And then there was Dre. You feel me? I don't know where Pooh was all day. But
well, we have videos from your Instagram Live.
Okay, but he wasn't there all day.
Well, he put you guys in Benel on the corner of South Peach Street and East Bowie Street at around 11 a.m. and you're singing your song, smoking, Pooh's in the driver's seat, Dre's in the back. You guys were just posted up on the corner waiting for somebody to pull up, right? Nobody pulls up. You guys leave around 5 o'clock. You guys meet up with Ed Boy at the gym, and y'all had him running, right? Somebody pulled the gun on him, whatever. I don't know about that. But Ed Boy's at the gym. Y'all had him running. Ed Boy, Ed Boy. This is the whole Instagram live video that we had seen. A 15-minute video of you and Pooh in the driver's seat of this Kia, and y'all are both pointing guns at the phone, saying, you know, the ops basically, that Ed Boy's bitch, rods, like, pull up then, all this taunting sort of. And then that means Pooh's at your house a couple of hours before you guys roll out to Benel. You guys are together. The phones match up together all day long. So later on, Pooh is sleeping or high or whatever. Dre drives the Kia. You guys go down to Benel together. This guy, this fourth guy, is not on any videos, no record of him anywhere. Tyrese Patterson, without explaining to him what you said, tells us very clearly, this is what happened that night. Dre's driving. Creek is in the front, I'm in the back. We'll go down there, we're not looking for trouble. Terrell shoots at us, we come back, and we let off rounds at Terrell. And somehow,
I hear what you're saying.
Noah got hit.
But I'm telling you, there was a fourth person in that car.
Okay.
And Dre was not driving.
Okay.
Dre was right next to me.
Okay. And did Dre shoot?
Like I said, I didn't see. You
Okay.
feel me? I was too busy hearing the gun sounds and putting my head down.
Okay, so everything is on Pooh. Pooh's fault for everything. Pooh, you think Pooh should get charged with
Like
murder?
I said, he just admitted to you he was shooting, you feel me?
Okay.
But like I said, there was a fourth person in that car. Like I said, I remember, I know what I've seen.
Okay.
Remember?
And you sure you're not confusing it with some other night?
No, I'm sure.
Because I know you guys have done, you guys have ridden around there a few times.
No, I'm sure.
Okay. Now, the next, a couple hours later, you hit up, and I know you used to be affiliated with G and all that, right? So a couple of hours later, you hit up your boy on Instagram, and you tell him that you need some help. You gotta get out of town or something. And dude can't talk on the phone for some reason, so he's like, just code it out, right? So then you write 211 on a norm. You write 2-11 on a norm, N-O-R-M. What does 211 on a norm mean to you?
Help. Somebody trying to kill me.
Okay. Are there any other lies you want to sit here and look at me in the face and disrespect me like that? You want to just get that out of the way? It's 211. Yes, you are. 211 on a norm does not mean help. Okay. If you don't think that we have access to all this old school GD that we can just pull up.
But that's old. That's not.
Oh, the new. So okay, so
I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and disrespect.
No, that's exactly what you're doing.
I'm trying to go home.
I'll tell you what you are. Is that you're a very bright young man.
Okay.
You come from a good family. Okay. You have a good situation at home. You have a stepdaughter. You have a girl that's probably willing to marry you someday. Okay? Now that girl also drove a car that ended up killing Kamarion. Right? Now your girl is also facing charges for murder.
The detective plays it wisely, a clear sign of his experience. He has all the evidence to prove Stephen's guilt, but what he's really after is full closure from Stephen. So he brings up the one person Stephen never expected to be dragged into this mess, his girlfriend. Stephen may still try to deny it, but what comes next is something he never saw coming.
So now what you're doing is you're just selling me a load of bullshit. You're basically pissing on my back and telling me it's raining. And I'll tell you this right now, 211 on a norm does not mean help. Everybody knows that, okay? I know what the second letter of the alphabet is, and I know what the 11th letter of the alphabet is, all right? And I know in my mind what on a norm means, okay? And we have ran this by multiple GDs, both old and young. We ran it by gang investigators. So I know what 211 means. 211 means blood killing, okay? On a norm means civilian, somebody that's not affiliated, not associated, okay? That's what that means. That's what you wrote a couple of hours afterwards. To me, that means that you knew for sure that this boy was dead and that you needed help to get out of town, right? Because what happened was you guys killed a normal person. That's what it means, okay? You were in the car when this guy died. I'm not saying you shot him.
I'm telling you, like I said, help. I need help.
Right. 211 means blood killing. right?
I don't know, dude.
You don't know what 211 means?
Bro, I'm not even like banging like that.
You used to be.
Yeah, I used to be.
Listen, man, in your music videos and all the shit that you claim, that's a different persona
I hear what you're saying.
than the Stephen Monroe that's crying to me, begging for help.
Yeah, I understand what you're
That's a different person.
Okay.
Okay? So you got to decide which person are you going to be right now, because today is the day.
Me, Stephen.
Right.
That's
Well, I'll tell you what, in about 6 minutes, the whole world is going to find out what's happening with all this.
I understand what you're saying.
All right? Because in 6 minutes, we're going live with local news all over the state of Florida. You need to decide right now, are you going to be the only one that has a different story that's not true?
That's the truth, though.
That's
all
not
I can only tell you.
Devondre confessed to driving the car.
I hear what you're saying. I hear
And
what you're
Pooh
saying.
confessed to being in the back and shooting.
Okay.
You need to tell me the truth. The truth that happened that night is that you guys go down there, you're in the front seat, you have your Glock on you, this boy shot at you and tried to kill you. You guys pull around and you shot at him back. Was it self-defense?
I never had a gun, bro. And I wasn't sitting in the front seat. I know where I was sitting.
Okay, so all the other videos of you having a gun a couple of hours beforehand, days beforehand, weeks beforehand, all these guns that you're playing with all the time, right? The guns that all your roommates tell us that you have. All these things. This is the one time you guys decide to go down to op territory and not have your pole.
That's it. It was Dre gun. Like I said.
Which one?
Whatever gun that y'all talking about.
Okay.
Any of them guns.
I'm not saying who owns the gun. I don't care who owns the gun.
I understand what you're saying.
You shot down the block that night.
No, I didn't.
Steven, you are going to fuck yourself because you're the only one lying.
Okay.
You're the only one lying. Why the fuck would you be the only one lying in this scenario?
I hear what you're saying.
No, I don't think you do, man. I don't know if you think this shit is just fake, but it ain't.
Okay.
Tyrese is in the other room, a couple rooms down. He's getting arrested for first-degree murder as we
I hear what
speak.
you're saying, dude. I understand what you're saying.
Okay, I don't.
What you're saying, but I do.
Steven, I don't think you do. I don't think you do. The state attorney's office is not very happy with the fact that you're making up this fourth person and that you're putting somebody else in this mess that doesn't need to be involved, because you guys need to be held accountable for your actions, okay? Devondre Williams is driving, Tyrese Patterson shot, and you shot. How many times did you shoot? That is the big question.
I didn't shoot.
Okay, well, you shot a Glock that night.
No, I didn't.
Okay, there's witnesses there, and there's two co-defendants in the car.
I hear what you're saying. Of course, they're going to try to drag me in something because they already in some.
They told on themselves. They don't have to drag you in enough.
Yes, the fuck they do, because they don't want to go down by themselves.
They don't give a
Exactly.
No, Dre doesn't want to go down whatsoever. Okay. Right? So he says you shoot, and he says Pooh shoots. Pooh, this morning, out of anger, we slide him a piece of paper that says you have a warrant for your arrest for murder. He's like, F that, I'm not the only one going down for this. I'll tell you what happened. He tells us the whole story, and it exactly matches up with the evidence. Exactly.
I hear what you're saying, but
what you're saying does not make any sense.
No driver. You
said a driver shot out the driver's seat, right? You said a driver shot the opposite direction. This driver, this guy.
Because he did.
So he shot down the other end of the block where there was no ops at?
Bro.
Why would he do that?
It's bananas, bro. They're just trying to wet shit up. They're just trying to kill people. They don't care about anything.
Oh, they're
what I'm telling you, bro. That's all I can tell you.
What caliber gun did you shoot that night?
I didn't shoot any gun.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. And I'll tell you what, the caliber of the gun makes a big difference in this situation.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay, no, I don't think you do exactly, okay? Because, listen, ultimately, Noah was shot and killed with a specific type of bullet, okay? And I think you know whose gun killed Noah Smith.
The detective doesn't flinch. He's done playing nice. One by one, he slams down the evidence and confessions from Tyrese and Devondre. Every single piece fits together like a puzzle, and each one slices deeper into Steven's fabricated tale. Still, Steven keeps trying to spin the story, clinging to the idea of a mysterious fourth person in the car. He is clearly trying to manipulate the moment like he's still got the upper hand. But soon, this wannabe gangster is about to have a full-blown reality check and turn into a crybaby.
Right? Now, what I'm telling you is that there was multiple shell casings on scene from 2 different guns. DNA has been recovered from those shell casings. Okay? The DNA is being sent off, and we're going to compare it to yours. I'll tell you, I'll bet you $1 million that your DNA is all over those shell casings. Those are guns that you've handled multiple times.
Yeah, I touched it.
Right, you touched it. Sure. Those are guns that you've handled. You're in the car. This boy gets shot. Pooh shoots a gun down the street. He told us what type of gun it was. You shoot a gun down the street. You need to tell me what type of gun that is, because we need to figure out if your bullet is the one that killed Noah or not. Because I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, that is a massive factor in this case. Do you want to just be somebody in the car that was shooting at Terrell? Terrell don't want to press charges. Terrell's going down for this shit too. You think Terrell's going to come in here and say, oh, yeah, I want to press charges against Stephen Monroe for shooting at me? Nobody gives a f about that. Everybody just wants everybody to be held accountable for what they did during the Noah Smith case. All right? And you were in that car. You shot a gun down the street. I know you shot a Glock. I want to know what caliber it was. 2 options. Because this kid was hit with a specific type of bullet. And if you say the right one, you might be all right. I know this is tough, man. I get it. Because you've thought to yourself 1,000 times. You've played it over with Donna. This is what we're going to say. You've talked about it with Dre. This is what we're going to say. All right? And now shit is crashing down on everybody because nobody was able to stay 10 toes down and keep it 100. That's not the way things work, bro. That's not the way it works. All we had to do was slide a piece of paper across the table to Tyrese, and Tyrese flipped immediately. We picked up Dre on some bullshit charge. He comes in with his mama, and he is spilling the beans immediately. You're the only one that's lying. And the opinion of most people, and I'm talking about a jury, let's say, 12 people are going to sit there, and they're going to listen to sweet little 80-pound Devondre Williams say, this is what I did, I'm really sorry for my actions. Tyrese Patterson's going to say, this is what I did, I didn't mean to kill Noah, it was an accident. And then you're going to get up there and say, actually, there was some 4th guy with Wicks, and he did that, and I was just minding my own business in the backseat, when everybody knows it's not true, man. You have to tell the truth. You have to tell the truth, Stephen. Think about what your parents are going to say about this, man. Your parents are good people, man. We know what you did, and it's all going to come out. It's just a matter of fact of whether or not you are going to be honest about it and be asked for forgiveness, or you're just going to be the guy that lies and says, I don't want to be held responsible for what I did. And that is not the right place to be. What caliber gun did you shoot that night?
Stephen is clearly broken, and the weight of his guilt is crushing him. The detectives see it, and they know this is the moment to push for the truth, and the secret is finally about to come to light.
Stephen, listen. Sorry. Listen, you're a grown man, okay? You got to make a choice right now. Okay, I understand. You have to make a choice right now. Are you going to be painted out to be a liar, or are you going to stand up here like a man and say exactly what you did and let the chips fall where they may? I understand. Listen, man, I know you're scared. I know you are scared. Listen, this is not where you need to be right now.
I don't know what kind of gun it was. I really don't.
Okay. There's 2 options, Stephen. Was it a 40 caliber or was it a 9mm? Which one did you shoot that night? Okay, whose gun was it?
All of them were Dre's.
They were all Dre's. They were all Dre's? Both guns? Did Dre give his gun to who?
I said I didn't see all of that.
Okay. Now, I want to try this again, all right? And we're on the right path now. Where exactly were you seating in the car? Tell the truth.
In the front seat.
Okay. Who was driving?
Dre.
All right. And where was Pooh sitting?
In the back seat.
Okay. And then you guys go down there. Why were you guys going down there now?
To smoke.
Okay. So then, did you see Terrell Sampson shoot at your car? You did. Did you know it was Terrell Sampson? But you just heard the gunshots? Okay. How did we find out it was Terrell Sampson that was shooting at you guys? How did you find out, not me?
Because people were talking about it.
Okay. So when you guys come around the block and you guys start letting off fire down the block, What was the intended target? Was it Noah Smith? Did you guys try to shoot and kill Noah Smith? No?
I don't know if that's what they're aiming for.
You don't know that who was aiming for? Okay, who were you aiming at? Huh? You were aiming at Terrell? Did you see him standing out there? Did he still have a gun when he was standing out there? Okay, did you think he was going to shoot at you? You did. Okay. How many times did you shoot? This is the big important question. Just one time? And you can't remember what kind of gun you had? And listen, you've already done a really good job, okay? But I do think, listen, relax, man. I do think that you know exactly what gun you had because I believe that that's your gun.
I don't know what kind of gun I really don't.
Okay. All right, listen, relax. Relax. Hey. Okay, I know you don't want to be here, man. Nobody wants to be here. I get that. I completely get that. Tyrese just got hit with a murder charge, bro.
I just don't want to be in this situation. I'm just trying to protect myself.
I get it. You're trying to protect yourself. I understand that. And listen, you have an attorney that you can explain all this to, but you have to be honest with your attorney too. How is your attorney going to rightfully defend you if you're not telling him exactly what happened? And then you're letting the police find out all the information and find out all the details to make you look like a liar. And then how is anybody going to feel bad for you if you're just sitting up here telling things that aren't true? That's what I'm trying to get across to you. Okay?
It wasn't Steven's bullet that took Noah's life, but that doesn't make him any less afraid of the truth. He's scared to death to admit his part, maybe because he still doesn't fully grasp the weight of the damage he's caused. Deep down, he's just trying to protect himself, hoping his lies will act like armor. But the truth is, no lie can save him now.
Ultimately, you have to stand up like a man and defend yourself in front of people in a courtroom. And you have to be able to say, this is what I did, and this is why I did it. And when you are saying things that are clearly not true, that's when you look to be like a monster and people don't trust you anymore, okay? You have to be trustworthy. All right, so let's start out. How did all this beef start? What is the problem between the Sampsons and you guys?
I don't know. I inherited the beef because Dre didn't have nowhere to stay and Pooh didn't have nowhere to stay, so I let them stay at my house.
Okay.
And then they were already beefing with these people. I was just being a friend. I was not finna let nobody just hurt my friends or do whatever. Starting to run up on me and they telling me they got my address and stuff. And
right. Who said they had your address?
I don't know. One of them said they had it. We was arguing with him on live.
Was that Rod?
I think it was Rod.
Because Rod was on the live saying like, I just passed Rose Petal. Okay. So what you guys are at Rose Petal. You guys are going to go down to Benel to go get some weed to smoke. Is that right? Did you guys leave Rose Petal with the purpose of going to start some with the ops?
No.
Okay, when you get down there, you're driving down Anderson Street. Dre is in the front driving, you are in the front passenger, and Pooh is right behind you in the passenger, right? Okay, when you get to that corner there by the houses, by like Sweat up there, what happens out there? Who says what?
I don't really know where, like, Benel like that. Like
No,
I said, but
well,
I just know that.
Where Terrell was standing.
Where seen Terrell.
Okay.
And Pooh started yelling. I guess he was telling people to get out the way. And Terrell started shooting at the car. And he stepped back. And Terrell. And then just started shooting at Terrell.
Okay, so Terrell starts shooting. You guys make the corner, right? You go down the road where the gym's at. You come down Bowie Street, right? This is all on camera, so that's why I'm saying it, because I know for a fact. You pull up to the corner, Dre's driving. Now he pulls up so that you and Pooh have a clear line of sight, so you can see exactly down the street there. And then you and Pooh just start shooting at the same time? Did So did Pooh shoot first? Do you know who shot first?
As I said one time, Pooh was dumping the whole clip.
Okay, you shot one time and Pooh dumped the whole clip.
Or what I thought was the whole clip. I didn't know he was shooting a lot, and I just shot one time.
Okay. All right, so then after that, you guys leave Benel, you guys go back to Rose Petal, right? That's what all the surveillance cameras show. What happens once you guys get back to Rose Petal?
Get back. Everybody starts hitting us up. I go in my room. They leave. I'm in my room. I'm sleeping. I don't know what happened after that.
Okay. Creed, I need to know where these guns are at.
I really don't know where they're at.
Tyrese told me this morning that you were going to give them to somebody around the way, around the corner, and that they were going to hold them for you.
No.
I need to get these guns off the street.
I don't know where they're at.
Okay.
I didn't give nobody nothing.
People in the house have told us that you were going to get rid of them. Oh. And then Tyrese told us this morning that you were going to give them to a neighbor. I'm telling you though, when we find those guns, if we can prove that it was you who hid them or didn't give them over to law enforcement, that's not going to be good for you.
I understand.
I hope so. Yep. All right. Deputy Hagerty's going to take you, man.
Stephen's confession remains incomplete as he chose to hold back one key bit of information, and that was where he hid the guns. But fortunately, detectives found all the answers at the end as they secured the guns used in the crime and the CCTV footage that captured the incident. Investigators found 6 shell casings, 5 from a 9mm gun, and 1 from a .40 caliber gun. 2 years later, a friend of Stephen was found with a .40 caliber Glock 23 in Castleberry, Florida. Stephen Monroe was charged with first-degree murder for his role in the crime. His trial was held in February 2025. He was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Tyrese Patterson was first charged with first-degree murder, but later pleaded no contest to second-degree murder. He now faces 25 to 50 years in prison and is still waiting to be sentenced.
When was the last time you talked to Pete?
Last night before he dropped me off.
Well, Pete, we found Pete this morning. He's been killed.
What? What?
This is 28-year-old Cameron Scott Halliburton, also known as Fish. We can see that he's bawling his eyes out to hear his best friend, Jared Klein, die, but at this very moment, things were about to get worse.
It's just a picture of a picture. We've looked at it, we've blown it up.
The CCTV puts Cameron right near the crime scene, making him the last person to be with Jared, and also a prime suspect.
Were they saying I'm a suspect or something?
Well, it's looking that way.
I'm going to kill my best friend.
We don't think you would do it intentionally.
I didn't do it at all.
Can I see your jacket, you?
I would say that's blood.
The clues are evident, but the answer is yet to be unveiled. Was Cameron feigning innocence, or had he just realized that a sinister secret was on the verge of being exposed? In the early hours of November 26, 2017, Texarkana police responded to a 911 call reporting a single vehicle accident. They arrived to find 27-year-old Jared Klein strapped in the driver's seat of his Chevrolet Colorado truck, which was parked against a tree with the keys missing. But what made the scene truly horrifying were the numerous stab wounds to his face, neck, and chest, along with a pool of blood spreading beneath him. Here's the actual footage of the officers at the scene.
You got a gunshot wound? I can't tell. His chest is wet. His shirt is. Dang, open. Man. Where's the recruit at? Do you see a gun or anything? Some blood splatter or something?
There's not any blood on the back.
Well, man, the airbags didn't even deploy.
I mean, there's blood going down the...
See his wrist? Can you see his wrist? Nah, but his shirt's wet. You see the blood on his shirt? He's got rigor mortis though. He's already got rigor mortis though, so.
Yeah, probably 6 to 8 hours.
It appeared to be a deadly assault from an angry enemy, as Jared was stabbed for a total of 10 times. But there was just one piece of critical evidence for the police. They found a receipt and his cell phone inside the car. However, their first step was to review CCTV footage from a nearby Family Dollar store, hoping to piece together the timeline of the crash. But what they hadn't expected was for the footage to reveal much more than the timeline of events. What they witnessed was the out-of-control car running at full speed and barely passing by the shop. But along with that, they noticed a man, visibly intoxicated, approaching the shop right after the car passed by. And to make things even easier for the officers, they managed to get clear footage of the unknown person's face. Next, the police turned their attention to the other items found at Jared's car. Luck was on their side when they examined his phone and discovered something crucial: the call log. They dialed the most recent number, reaching Jared's friend, DeQueener Mitchell, and that's where they found the information they needed. Mitchell informed the police that she, Jared, James Cherry, and another man known as Fishman had gone to the Flying J to panhandle. When the police showed her the CCTV footage, she immediately confirmed that the man in the clip was indeed the Fishman. With that revelation, the police finally had the key lead they needed to crack the case wide open. When officers arrived at the location where Fishman was supposed to be staying, he was nowhere in sight. However, they uncovered his identity: 28-year-old Cameron Scott Halliburton. Not long after, they located him, finding him not in any residence, but asleep beside a dumpster. At first, Cameron seemed calm and collected during the interrogation, but he had no idea his world was about to turn upside down as the events of that bad night came to light one by one.
I can't see your eyes. Okay. Perfect, man. I appreciate that.
He wanted to see if he had more hair than we did.
No,
he does.
I actually just knocked it off from Thanksgiving.
You got less forehead than me have.
Yeah. Starting when, I didn't go.
Yesterday was Saturday, right?
Yeah, it was Saturday.
Thanksgiving you spent with your family, friends,
No,
what?
I didn't do no Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Like that.
Didn't do no Black Friday shopping. Okay. Where'd you spend the night, Friday night?
At the house.
What house?
2022 Allen Lane.
Is that your house?
No. I take that back. I stayed on Fish Street at Harold's house that night because I didn't want to walk all the way to Ellie.
As things had been cleared up enough about his identity, the detective jumped right into the day of the incident and would soon understand. He would go on to change statements.
So you spent the night at Harold's house?
Okay, yeah. Spent the night at Harold's house. I got up Saturday, went by Andrews.
That's where we just were, right?
Yeah, that's the Main Street Apartments. Not quite sure where he was. And then he and Jared and Gotti popped out of nowhere, knocking on the door. I was like, hey.
At Andrews?
Yeah, at Andrews. And rode around with them. We go and eat at the little friendship centers and stuff. So we dropped Gotti and Melissa back off. He had left me and went and picked up Shane. It's Shane Anderson. I hung out with Andrew for a little bit. Pete came back, got us. Then we went and picked up TT and Cherry.
Who's TT?
That is the little black girl that was earlier with Andrew. That's her girlfriend.
Okay.
Some unfamiliar names are emerging, but rest assured, they hold no relevance to the case. They're simply acquaintances of Cameron with no connection to the story.
We took Cherry to the Mandible Flying J. He's a window washer, I'll say. He gets out there and he panhandles us a little gas washing windows on the truckers. Cherry. Cherry does? Yeah, he gets out there cleaning the windows.
Who all went to Mandible?
Me, Queen, and Cherry. And yeah, that was it.
Cherry?
Yeah, and Cherry. And Queen. Yeah, that's all I know her by is Queen. Everybody's all nicknames.
And Jared?
And Jared, yeah.
How long were y'all out there?
Which, when I say Pete, if you hear me say Petey, I'm talking about Jared.
It's Jared. That's like people call him in school and stuff.
Petey, yeah. His mom can't stand it. She called him Jared.
When y'all call him Petey?
He got it in about ninth grade. He got it in softball nickname, so. And everybody still calls me Fish. I'm like, well, if I'm Fish, you're Petey still. So.
So you went out there. What happened out there?
Did some panhandling. Came back into town. We hung out at Queen's house till maybe about midnight, I'll say. And we got a call from Duck. And Duck wanted to go to Mr. D's. So I was like, well, I ain't never been to Mr. D's, but he wasn't trying to pay nobody's way in. I was like, well, all right, anyway, let's go.
Cameron's claim about visiting Mr. D's checked out, as officers verified it with CCTV footage showing him there. However, when it came to the rest of his story, the truth remained uncertain, and only time would reveal how much of it was real. But first, the detectives will want to know his perspective on Jared.
Is that nice guy?
Jared's the type of guy, man, to see you walking down the road and pick you up to give you a ride.
Cool.
You know, I mean, he's the type to 2:30 in the morning, you got your flashers on, he's going to pull over and help you, regardless of what we got going on. I mean, Pete's a good dude. He's actually the one that got me this little gig that we're supposed to be going and doing in Shreveport.
What's that?
He's a welder. I'm supposed to go as his helper.
Cool.
Be a welder's helper. I mean, I do electrical, but he's like, man, we'll get you in there as a labor hand cam. You know, I said, I don't know nothing. I said, I know there's a MIG weld and a TIG weld, but I don't know the difference between either one.
What'd y'all do after you left there?
Came back into Texarkana, and he hollered something about he had some business to go take care of, which, I mean, I'll be honest with you, Pete's got a little bit of a mess habit.
Cameron's answers are all carefully thought out. It's almost too diplomatic. He spoke well of Jared, offering compliments, but then quickly turned and mentioned some of Jared's bad habits to the detectives. It was a subtle shift, but it left his true feelings toward Jared a mystery.
Do you ever do anything?
I mean, I've dabbled with it. It's not my cup of tea, brother. I'm like I said, I like to smoke.
What does that do to you? Like synthetic and stuff, what does it do to you? Mess you up pretty bad?
Not really. I mean, to me, it's not for everybody, but to me, I just get I get a regular high off of it. You know, it gives me a little bit of cotton.
You don't drinking or anything last night?
Mm-hmm. I'm not a drinker.
Any pills or anything like that?
That synthetic, I started smoking it about 7 or 8 years ago.
That long?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've like I said, I just recently picked it back up, but I started about 7 or 8 years ago, and it actually made me quit drinking the rum I was drinking. I can't drink beer. Got to where I couldn't drink soda pops for the longest. Carbonation would just jack my stomach up. I did a lot of juice and stuff like that. He already had some business to take care of, which he didn't say, but I kind of had a feeling. And I mean, my dad I don't judge nobody for their habits by no means, because I had my own, but I was like, all right, Pete, you dropped me off over here by JR's house. My buddy stays on 38th and Elizabeth.
JR?
Yeah. And he just dropped me off right there on the corner, but I went and knocked on the door, and nobody answered the door. I don't have a phone. By the time I turned around, Pete was already drove off. Which I was like, okay, I just sat on JR's porch for a little while. I'm thinking maybe, Pete will just go whatever he's got to go do.
About what time was that, you think?
Long enough to get back in from wherever Mr. D's, Mandeville or Hope, whatever town that little bar is in, to make it to state line. So, however long that would be. Nobody answered. Pete didn't come through for about 45 minutes, and I was cold, so forget it. I didn't want to walk all the way back to Italy, so the closest spot I knew to walk was Andrew's house. I just took off walking over there, and he answered the door for me. I stayed the night there last night.
It has to be kept in mind that this was Cameron's first version of the story. However, as the interrogation progresses, it becomes clear just how much his stories will begin to shift and change. Additionally, by this time in the interrogation, the detectives still haven't clarified to him that Jared is dead. So the interrogation is going to get quite interesting.
Well, all my machetes are in the back of Pete's truck. My tote of clothes. I mean, that's literally all my clothes. I got to get those. And
what are they doing in his truck?
He's my roommate. We're just supposed to take.
Where y'all room at?
2022 Allen Lane, but we don't have no water.
Is that kind of abandoned house?
See, you know about it. I moved in telling Dwayne that, hey, you said you had some electrical problems, I'll come fix some work, give me a spot to stay. I had an apartment that was supposed to come through. Me and Dwayne got into it, and he's actually like a big, swole, buff penitentiary. I think he's actually in jail right now. And,
Dwayne?
Yeah, and he scared the hell out of me one night, and I kind of went a little ham in the paint on him, which he roughed me up first, but he's the one that called the cops. And the only reason I stayed is because I felt like, man, my head was all swollen. I'm like, hey, I'm self-defense, brother, you know. He told me I'd better not go back to sleep for my own good, and I had to be up at work the next morning, a new job working for Miss Glenda Roofing. And the cops came, they said, well, he called, you're the aggressor. He's got almost 100 pounds on me. He's swole. I mean, I'm a little bitty guy, bro. You know, I said, he's got almost 100 pounds on me. He has previous assault charges. I have a clean record. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not going to sit and pretend to be innocent.
You do have a clean record.
I'm not an aggressive person, you know, but and that's what I told him. I said, Dwayne, you spooked me that night. You really scared me, dude. And that's the reason I just I wanted you to get off of me. And after that, I sat there. He said he was calling the cops. I said, well, call him. I told the cops, I said, it was all self-defense. I stayed here because I was waiting on y'all to come back. You know, like I said, tried to tell them I got a clean record. I'm not aggressive.
So y'all dropped Duck off
at Mr. D's. Yeah.
And nobody else in the car with you?
No, it's just me and Pete.
Just you and Pete. Mm-hmm. And y'all left and came back to
Texarkana.
Cameron keeps insisting it was just him and Jared before his death. This makes him the last person with Jared, a detail that's hard to ignore. And while it seems straightforward, this is where things start to go wrong for Cameron.
Well, I mean, were you with him when he did that? I mean, it's just...
No, sir.
Well, it just don't, it ain't adding up. I mean, him good friends, and I wouldn't, if he'd go take us to business, I would have went with him, especially if he was a little hanked up about something.
When you asked if I ever used methamphetamine before, I did when I was 15, 16 years old, and I started kind of selling this stuff. My mom found about 3.5, 4 grams of mine. I taped it to my stepdad's military locker, and she ate it, and it almost killed my mom. Put a big cyst on her face, and she had to go to the hospital. I mean, big cyst. She still, to this day, she doesn't know that was mine, but you know, I don't judge nobody for it, but, you know, if I'd have killed my mama,
oh, man,
you know, so I just, it makes me uncomfortable. You know, like I said, I don't judge nobody. I know when Pete's using. I can tell when Pete's using. I mean, I've known him for that long. But
we just want you to be 100% honest with us.
Cameron claims he doesn't take drugs, and that might be true. However, the CCTV footage clearly shows him acting under the influence of something. But aside from that, things start to get interesting from this point on.
I wasn't at a Family Dollar last night.
You weren't coherent like you are now, it looked like.
I wasn't at a Family Dollar last night, though. I mean, I stayed the night at Andrew's house.
Yes, and we talked to Andrew, and you got there between 2 and 3. He thinks closer to 2, well, between 2 and 3. This is at the Family Dollar about 1:45, 1:46, 1:47. So you weren't at Andrews at that time.
No, probably not.
And I think that I'm not trying to hink you up.
What's going on? Can I? Because now Can I know what's going on?
Well,
I mean, I kind of think I felt like I've given y'all some information. I've been on.
You have been very helpful.
When's the last time you talked to Pete?
Last night before he dropped me off.
Well, we found Pete this morning. He's been killed.
What? What? No, Duck. He's a dealer. Oh, Pete. No.
Cameron quickly tries to throw the person named Duck under the bus, hoping to shift the blame. However, this tactic is unlikely to help him. Moreover, as the detectives prepare to show him a picture from the CCTV footage that will change the course of this interrogation entirely.
It's just a picture of a picture. We've looked at it. We've blown it up. That's you at the Family Dollar I was telling you about.
Jacket and your blue shirt.
Your shirt, your boots. There's other angle from outside. That's about 1:40 something a.m. this morning.
Now we don't know everything that happened.
There's a reason for everything to happen, and we
Wait, what did y'all just say? Y'all found Pete? By that Family Dollar?
Yes.
Were they saying I'm a suspect or something?
Well, it's looking that way.
I'm going to kill my best friend.
We don't think you would do it intentionally.
I didn't do it at all. I was doing it unintentionally.
And who else was there?
Nobody was with us when Pete dropped me off.
I mean, do you agree that that is you looking at that picture?
That's me, brother. I mean, I'm not going to say that.
Can I see you? Jacket you?
What'd you say that is right there?
I don't know.
I would say that's blood.
You are finna try to say that I killed Pete. No, I'm not going for this.
We want to know if you were there.
No, I wasn't there, brother. I wasn't there.
But you were on the video.
Okay, do y'all have some video of me stabbing my best friend?
Cameron just mentioned something he shouldn't have. No one had told him about Jared being stabbed, yet he directly asked the detectives about it. This should have been a key moment in the interrogation, but perhaps the detectives chose to hold back, wanting to gather more information before responding.
Do you have Pete with me? I mean...
We have you telling us you were somewhere else, but you weren't.
I was dropped off on 38th and Elizabeth last night, brother.
Okay.
How are you going to say that for
Do
sure?
you remember talking to the person in the car by Family Dollar? They pulled over, the car drove by, turned around and came back and stopped on the side of the road. You walked over and talked to him. There's good video at Family Dollar. You walked over and talked to the car, the dark color car. You remember talking to him? You got a pretty distinct look to you.
So that's why I was asking, was you own something that you didn't, or somebody made,
That's why we're asking about the drugs. It made you do something. If he got you to do something that you don't do, but you're trying to help him out and try to stay with him, try to keep him from doing something stupid, but then he ends up talking you into doing something stupid. That's what we want to know.
I don't do meth. I'll take a drug test, whatever y'all want.
Will the synthetic make you act crazy sometimes?
No, I mean...
Because we've had people that didn't make them
y'all pulled up
crazy,
on me. I don't... It gives me a regular whole weed high, brother. I get the munchies, I eat something, I lay down. It only lasts about 20 minutes. I don't act crazy or anything.
Well, you were tore up when you walked into the Family Dollar because you walked smack into the door, which we're going to have your DNA on the door. We swabbed that. And you fell backwards and you wandered around the parking lot for several minutes and you kept looking around the corner where his truck was.
No, I don't remember any of this.
Were you on any drugs last night?
No.
Besides synthetic?
No, all I did.
Pills at all?
No, all I did was smoke synthetic last night with Pete.
Are you schizophrenic or anything like that? You don't take any medicine for that?
I'm not.
What time did y'all smoke that synthetic?
Between the time D's on the way back into town.
Okay. So that's about what time this happened. Do you even really remember how you got to Elizabeth Street?
Pete dropped me off.
No, Pete didn't drop you off.
Yes, he did. Pete was the only person I was with last night. Pete
couldn't have dropped you off at Elizabeth Street.
Because we got video of Pete's truck
crashing
with
you walking up to the store.
Just
like that.
Whether Cameron is pretending during the interrogation or truly doesn't remember any of it remains unclear at this point. However, one thing is certain. He's in desperate need of a solid defense to get himself out of this interrogation. Let's see what he decides to do.
You said y'all have video of Pete's truck crashing and then me walking up. Y'all got video of me getting out of Pete's truck? I mean, what kind of hard evidence is this? I mean,
I'm gonna go with you having blood on his blood on your jacket. That's pretty good evidence. And this ain't something we're trying to put on you.
We're not trying to put anything on you.
So we're understanding of what happens. There's things in life that makes people do things. There's two sides.
Reasons why things happen. And I'll tell you why. We've dealt with people, and you're not the person that we deal with normally that do this kind of thing. We deal with people that are just badass people that don't care about anybody else, that hurt people to hurt people. We deal with those, and I can't stand deal with them, and Detective Visa can't stand with them. But we also deal with people like yourself that make mistakes. But the problem is they make another mistake when they come in and when we give them their time to tell us what happened, they don't tell us what happened. I mean, if Pete had been doing some meth and he attacks you or something like that, man, this is the time to let us know what's going on. We can't know, like we were in the truck with y'all. I know we talked to Andrew, and he says y'all been fighting, and he says Pete's been he's kind of been snobbish and act like he's better than everybody, like he's coming down on y'all and stuff, and I don't know why, and maybe that's the drugs making him do that. And maybe he's freaking talking down you, maybe he's attacking, maybe he's trying to get you bought that bow for $5, you know what happened.
What happened last night? There's no doubt in both our minds that you really love Pete, you really like Pete, y'all thick. But something happened in that truck last night, and only you can tell us what really happened.
I don't know.
What kind of drugs were you on last night?
I just smoked Edic. That's all I do. I have to pass that drug test. I only smoked Edic. He wanted to risk his little work. Gets out in 3 days. Hey man, whatever, Pete, you're a grown ass man, dude. That's your business, brother. I'm anti. I'm not going to
smoke the meth or shoot it out?
He shoots it. He's a freaking.
Had he gone and got some?
Not around me. I'm uncomfortable around it. I don't even want him around whenever he's high.
Was he? Because you wouldn't go with them?
No.
Was he? There had to be a reason. I don't think you're that type of person that would just attack somebody. I think you need to be just like this guy y'all's living with. You fought back when you was getting attacked. I don't think you're the type that just attacks people. There's something that happened. And unfortunately, we know you there. There's no. We can debate anything you want to debate, but we can't debate that, bud. We know it happened, but we just like to hear your side of the story. I don't want to think that someone go out and start telling a story that you robbed him or you was whatever. I feel like there's a reason that something like this happened.
Is that possible?
Cameron first tried to dodge the question with a logical answer, then shifted the focus more on a drug test. Now he's asking for a cigarette. It wasn't the best escape plan, but it bought him some time. However, after taking a puff, things quickly went back to square one.
There was nobody else in the truck with you. And you and Petey was the only two people in the truck.
He said, hey man, you want to smoke now? I said, sure, but if I smoke, I'm just going to sleep the whole trip back. He said, I know. I said, all right, put your little country music on. Smoke out of a little socket, a little one here. Then he took my nap.
Where'd you wake up at?
He was dropping me off on 38th Street. That's what I seen me, maybe. He didn't come back and get me, though. He didn't. I will be honest with y'all here too. They what they call flex. It's like when they try to homemade the synthetic.
Yeah.
It won't work very good. But I did notice that little bit we had last night was really strong. Really strong.
Who'd y'all get it from?
He probably got it from Doug. That's probably what he got for giving a ride to.
You think it messed with you?
If anything, like I said, I just went to sleep. All I ever do is crash out.
So what you got?
I'm going to take your jacket out here so I can analyze it, okay? Cameron, look at me. Was Pete your friend?
Yeah, but they can't help you no more than what I'm.
They can help us.
They can't, though. All I did was go and vent.
Who was it?
Can't tell you. I don't want them involved in this. I don't want them involved.
We have to talk to them. We have to confirm what you're telling us. You have to. Okay.
Dude,
right is right, wrong is wrong.
I can sit here and tell you, but he's not going to tell you nothing. He's not going to talk to you.
Well, then tell me who it was. If he's not going to talk to us, that's fine.
It was Mama's son. It was Curtis. He stays over there with her.
It's who?
Curtis.
Soon, the detectives bring in Curtis Flowers, Cameron's good friend, for an interview. Curtis was the only person Cameron met after the tragic incident in the early hours of November 26, 2017. Fortunately, this is when the detectives finally get a solid story.
Stopped in my mom's room at the door. She said, "Hi, Mom, how you doing?" Mom looked up at her. She said, "Hi, how you doing, Cameron?" "I'm doing okay." He came, "Kurt, brother, can I talk to you?" Sure. I'm in my room, sat on the edge of my bed, and he just started shaking. I said, "Bro, what's the matter?" "Bro, I killed Pete." Whoa. I said, "What?" "I think I killed Pete." I said, "What do you mean?" "I was asleep. And the only thing I can remember is him hitting me. And the only thing I could do was just reach. And I stuck it." I said, "Okay. Call the police?" "No. Where is he at?" "He's at the hospital." "No. Well, where is he at?" He said, "I don't know." Okay. And sat there for a second. And he went on to say, "I left him at the motel." And I said, "Okay. Call the police." It would have been self-defense. If that's how you said it happened. He said, "I don't know, Kurt." And this is what I told him. I said, "Bro, you gotta go. You gotta leave here. Because Mom gonna see you crying. And she gonna ask you what's the matter. And then you gonna end up having to tell her that I don't want my mom into that." And so he left. I walked him out the door. And I watched him walk up the street. He was headed to Arkansas. He stopped at the corner.
With Curtis's statements in hand, Cameron was charged with first-degree murder on November 27, 2017. On November 29, 2018, he was found guilty. Although Cameron maintained his innocence throughout the trial's first phase, he testified during the sentencing phase, claiming that Jared's death had been accidental. Despite this, he was sentenced to life imprisonment.
He was still saying something, and I picked up in there, dripping with a lot on my face. So I found out, and something just called juke, like I took a drink of water in the morning. And you drink what?
This morning, the U.S. Supreme Court was asked to block the scheduled execution of Pablo Vasquez. He's the man who killed David Cardenas.
David Cardenas on April 18, 1998, when Pablo Lucio Vasquez ended his life in a horrifying act of violence. The confession that followed was so horrific, so monstrously disturbing, that even the U.S. Supreme Court turned a deaf ear to Pablo's pleas not once, but twice.
And I still kept hearing that weird feeling, just like, I don't know. Like one time my head turning and you didn't fall on the ground at the same time. Go ahead, keep doing it. Every time you keep kill again, keep taking it up, keep doing it. Kill it. I don't know if they're back there and blacked out. I started hearing voices in my head. And I told my cousin that somebody told me to kill him.
This was more than just a confession. It was the terrifying account of a man on the brink of transforming into a vampire. In a gripping interrogation, detectives unraveled the gruesome details of David Cardenas' murder, slowly revealing the true monster lurking beneath the surface. To grasp the full terror of this crime, we need to rewind to April 18, 1998, and piece together the events that led to David Cardenas' brutal end. That evening, David was last seen at a neighborhood party, but when he failed to return home, his family's worry quickly turned to dread. Then on April 19th, an anonymous tip rocked Hidalgo County. David Cardenas had been murdered at the very party he attended the night before. What truly happened on the night of April 18th remained a haunting mystery. The investigation started with more questions than answers, but soon led detectives to Andre Andy Chapa as a prime suspect. What made the case even more unsettling was the fact that Andy wasn't just any suspect. He was David's friend, the one who had invited him to the party that fateful night. It was through Andy's testimony that police finally located David's body 4 days later on April 22, 1998. However, what the detectives uncovered when they found David's remains was far more horrifying than they ever anticipated, leaving them in utter shock. The autopsy report revealed the gruesome details of David's murder. A deep wound at the top of his head, his throat slashed, one arm severed, the other partially detached, skin torn from his back, several brutal facial wounds, likely inflicted with a heavy tool. Each detail painted an even darker picture than the last. Detectives were now left with a burning question. What could drive someone to unleash such savage violence on a 10-year-old child? Desperate for answers, they pressed Andy, who quickly confessed and named his accomplice, 20-year-old Pablo Lucio Vasquez. The manhunt led them 325 miles away to Conroe, a Houston suburb, where they finally made the arrest. Once in custody, Pablo wasted no time in confessing, but this was no ordinary admission. What he revealed was far more disturbing than anything the detectives could have anticipated.
Okay, Pablo, can you tell us what occurred? I want you to start since Friday.
Friday the 17th of April. Me, Andy, and David were going to a party, and we were looking for and we got invited to that party. So we first had our dog, we walked in the dog, and then we got there, so they asked us if we could come back. So we did, we took the dog home and came back. And we were there, they asked us where to get, so we started drinking there. We stayed there for at least 2 or 3 hours until it was over.
What time did you get there?
Like 9. First it was early in the daytime, it was day stick, and then we got back, we took off. I came back, and me and Andy and David came back, and they said we wanted to drink, so I got a beer that I was drinking, and the beer finished, so they passed a bottle of liquor, and I was drinking liquor, and I remember by the time I was really buzzing.
What type of liquor?
I don't know if it was Presidente. Because it was strong, they poured a lot into mine. I was already feeling drunk. So somebody smoked there, so I started smoking some too. And I did box it in there too.
You did what?
I did some. Because I was really loaded. We decided, because the party was finishing, somebody gives a right.
David was just 12 when he was invited to the party, where Pablo and Andy openly smoked, consumed hard drugs, and drank alcohol. It's likely David, vulnerable and naive, was pulled into their reckless world. Andy, though underage himself, was fully part of the chaos. But as Detective Ricardo Suarez would soon uncover, the night took a sinister turn when the three left the party together.
What time did you guys go home?
It was about 12. It was really gonna be Saturday morning that night. It was daytime. I didn't know where that little guy was gonna go. He took off.
What little guy?
David. I don't know where he was going, so he followed us. He went with us. They gave us the right to the house. And me and Andy were there. And he went to the back. I went inside. And I came to the back. And I told Andy, what's up with the plan? And he said, I don't know. He's willing to wait in the back. And I don't know if they're back there. I blacked out. I started hearing voices in my head. And I told my cousin that somebody told me to kill him. So I snuck up on him. And he fell down.
Where'd you hit him with?
The pipe.
Where'd you get the pipe at?
It was on the floor, like where he was at. And he looked at me at first, but then Andy looked at me too, and he just didn't have no feeling or nothing.
Did Andy try to stop you before you hit him?
No. Well, he didn't say nothing. He just looked at it. Like he felt something was wrong, and so I felt. And
where'd you hit him at? What was he doing when you hit him behind the head?
He was looking at me. And then he said something, I don't know. And I hit 3 or 4 times. And he was right there, and he was still alive.
When you hit him 3 or 4 times, where did you hit him at?
He was still alive. And they told me, you killed him. And I go, no, he's not dead, he's still alive. So I went inside, and Andy was getting everything and stuff ready, so I told him we were in the bury him. And he said, yeah. And I got him, and We took him, and Andy had the show.
Okay, you went inside for what?
Huh?
What'd you go inside for?
I just went inside to go check inside. Like, did anybody heard anything?
Was anybody awake?
Yeah. And like, nobody was awake. So I came back outside, and my cousin had a knife in his pocket.
Your cousin who?
Andy.
Okay.
And I saw him, and I got the knife, and I
Pablo's unnervingly calm demeanor as he recounts the brutal attack on David signals something far darker than indifference. He describes the violence as though it were an everyday occurrence, showing no emotional connection to the gruesome crime. It's as if he witnessed the act rather than carried it out himself. This eerie detachment suggests a distorted perception, where he either refuses to confront or is incapable of acknowledging the monstrous reality of his actions. Yet, what he confesses next goes beyond anything the detectives could have imagined.
And he was still like, talking and stuff. When I picked him up, I just put him on my shoulder like that, and I carried him, and I threw him on the floor because he was too heavy, and I dragged him from my hand. I picked him up, I grabbed him, and he was still saying something, and I picked him up in the air, and the blood was dripping. He got all over my face. So I don't know, and something just felt drip, like I took a drink of water in the morning, and
You drunk what?
his blood. And I don't know, and my face was drained with his blood, and I put him down because I felt weird. I don't know. And then my cousin said he's still alive or something like that. And I took him across the road, like what was that name? In the area where they found him.
As Pablo recounts David's blood, a subtle yet disturbing excitement creeps into his voice, revealing more about his twisted psyche than words alone could. This slight shift in his demeanor is evident as it points to the hallmarks of psychopathy, where individuals often find pleasure in reliving their violent acts. For someone like Pablo, the memory of the horror isn't just a recollection, it's a source of gratification. Psychopaths may lack empathy, but they fill that emotional void by seeking thrills through destruction and chaos.
And he was saying something, and my cousin got to show him, and like 5-6 times in the face. And all I knew was that, yeah, he was really good.
When you hit him on the face, what was the guy saying? What was David saying?
He was saying something, I don't know, he was mumbling something.
Any words that you can remember?
He was just saying, oh, like, I don't know if he said dope or something, but he was saying something. But I heard it was, I seen his blood gushing out everywhere, and I panicked, so I just put him back there. So we took him back there, and we started digging the hole. And the dirt was too hard, so we just dug a little tiny hole, and I put him there, and by the time I was just finding stuff to cover him up with, and we covered him, and I put grass and pieces of wood on him. And by the time I realized, I took off his ring, but I lost it somewhere right there, and his chain was busted. I threw that away too. And from then on, we walked to Randy's house, and I took a shower, and my cousin got the clothes that was full of blood, because I was wearing.
Your cousin who?
Andy. Okay. He got the boxers that I was wearing were covered with blood, and he told his mom that he was quitting or something like that. And
his mom was awake?
No, she was in the morning. They asked us, well, why are you doing so late, coming home so late? So we were drunk. And she asked us that the next morning, and the next morning I woke up, I realized that I had done something bad, and my throat got choked. And I just wanted to get out of it. And I waited all day there, just thinking about what I had done. And so I wanted to sleep too, because I told my cousin Randy, I looked at him and I feel like because I did something wrong. And he looked at me and he goes, oh no, don't do that. And after that, I told him I want to leave. I want to leave because they find out they're going to kill me no matter what. That's very serious. And my cousin goes, no, because no, don't go and all this shit. And I told him, I have to leave. You could have done it, man. I got both of us in trouble with worse than anything. And he said, yeah. So that day passed. The next night, that's when I saw my uncle, and I
The next night being when?
Saturday was already Saturday morning. Then Saturday night, I told my uncle that I was beaten because.
Your uncle who?
My uncle, Andy's dad, sure. And I told him that because I did something bad, and he goes, man, he got mad at me for doing that.
What exactly did you tell him?
That I had done something bad, that I had hurt some kid really bad.
And who'd you tell this to?
My uncle.
What's your uncle's name?
John.
John?
Yeah.
One?
Yeah.
So you told him Saturday night that you had done something bad?
Yeah. But then
Did you show him the chain?
Yeah, I showed him the chain. I said, look, this is what I took away from him, but I threw it away at the same time. That same night I threw it. I don't remember because I was in the car. I threw it. I touched it.
You were in the car going?
Well, I stayed there until the next morning, right? And then I asked my uncle if I could go with him back to Houston. And he said, well, I don't want no trouble. And I go, no. But I was just thinking, man, I tried to, because everything that I did, they got back to me.
While Pablo fleetingly expresses a desire to take his own life out of guilt, his body language and tone convey a different narrative. His confession comes out in a rush, suggesting he is more anxious to evade the interrogation than to confront any genuine remorse. This disconnect prompts questions about the authenticity of his feelings of guilt. What's even more unsettling is how Pablo's family reacted. While David's family was devastated upon discovering their son's condition, Pablo's family attempted to shield him after his horrific crime. Despite his admission to one of his uncles, no one in his family reported the murder, revealing a disturbing complicity that mirrors the crime itself. This reaction highlights a deeply ingrained dysfunction within their family dynamics, where silence becomes a form of complicity, further deepening the unsettling nature of the incident. As the weight of the truth begins to surface, Pablo starts exhibiting fleeting signs of remorse, but what he reveals next is worse than the most harrowing nightmare David's parents could have ever imagined.
And I'm sorry for killing that little guy, but if I had a chance to go back in time, I would never done it.
The autopsy says that someone, we don't know who, put a piece of his back off. And there was a knife. How did
it wasn't me, it was probably I did. But I don't think I did do that. I think when we dragged him, because we dragged him on the cement, maybe the cement stripped his back.
No, there was a nice cut all the way across his back, like a knife, or like somebody took a knife to his back and cut it, you know, they cut it off.
We were trying to cut off his head. They were trying to cut off his head to show him. Kept hitting him and hitting him.
Who was?
Me and I did, because we were trying just to tear him.
What was your reason for trying to cut off his head?
The devil was telling me to take it away from him.
Who was?
The devil was telling me to take it away from him, to keep it, and it couldn't come up. I was just freaking out because I was hearing that.
And what about Andy? What was he hearing?
I don't know, he was just like, going with it too, I guess.
Did Andy blood?
No, he threw up. He saw me. I told him, why did you do that? He didn't hear him. I told him, he was telling me to do that. And I heard it. And he just wanted to know when we did it.
Have you gone back? Did you go back the next day on Saturday to go see him?
No, I didn't go back.
You never went back after that night?
Pablo reveals that even after repeatedly hitting David and slashing his throat, the boy still clung to life, and this chilling admission elevates the horror to new heights. For any parent, the thought of their child enduring such relentless brutality is unimaginable. Yet, Pablo recounts this with the same emotional detachment that characterized his earlier confession, stating that he and Andre had to keep hitting David, this time in the face, to ensure he died more quickly. The coldness in his tone reveals a shocking lack of empathy, as if David's fight for survival was merely an inconvenience rather than the desperate struggle of a terrified child. It becomes increasingly clear to the detectives that something is profoundly wrong with Pablo. As they press him further, he confesses something deeply intense about himself.
Have you ever felt like that before?
Yeah, the one I was in California.
How long ago was this?
Before I came from California.
How long ago was this?
Like 2 days before Christmas. But I got here on I was on the bus here on Christmas, and I was here on New Year's Day.
Had you been drinking when you heard that the first time in December?
So I was on, there was some other drug that they have out there called.
Where is this, like in California?
Yeah.
And
I got addicted. Actually like addicted, but I stayed up for 2 whole weeks without sleep. And I was dressed in black, and it was in the middle of the night, and I tried to talk with you, and I tied a rope on it, and I put a rope on it, and my uncle was calling me, and I told him that I couldn't get down because somebody told me to jump, and if I jumped, the rope was going to take me.
What's your uncle's name?
My uncle, Guero.
What's his name?
I don't know his full name, but...
Where's this at?
California.
What part of California?
Tulare County, Visalia.
Is that where he lives at, in Visalia?
Yeah. He was picking out of me too, but he had to come up the tree and get me down. Because the whole people...
Did he call the police?
He just told me, man, he was not to... He was talking me out of it. He talked me out of it. And he kept talking, and I started listening to him.
Pablo's admission of his suicidal thoughts clearly indicates that he was spiraling long before the murder occurred. This confession isn't just a fleeting remark. It reveals a deep internal struggle that has gone unchecked. His thoughts of taking his own life serve as a cry for help, a red flag highlighting severe emotional and psychological distress. Overlooking this distress meant that underlying issues fueling Pablo's violent tendencies were never confronted, likely contributing to his explosive outburst against a vulnerable 12-year-old boy. When detectives inquire about his unusual openness during the interrogation, his response reflects the same unresolved turmoil. His honesty emerges from a place of deep guilt and desperation.
Why are you telling us the truth?
Because you guys want to know the truth, and I don't want to have that inside me all the time. Because I know it. I don't want to be like constantly thinking about it, because it's going to drive me crazy, and I'll end up killing myself.
Following his arrest, Pablo Vasquez confessed to the murder and was indicted on capital murder charges for the death of David Cardenas, as well as for stealing his jewelry. In March 1999, he was convicted and sentenced to death in Hidalgo County. After years of appeals, Pablo was executed on April 6, 2016 at the age of 38. Meanwhile, Andre, who was a minor at the time, was also convicted but received a 35-year sentence. He became eligible for parole in 2015, though it was initially denied, and was ultimately granted parole in 2020.
Even earlier in the day, he had expressed remorse over the crime and was trying to figure out how exactly he would say that to the family.
Both families, those of Pablo and David, were present in Pablo's final hour. Finally, justice that had been long awaited was served.
Vasquez begins his statement. It says, "It's time." He says, "You got your justice," and apologizes to the victim's family. 6:10. His cousins say "I love you" against the glass and make hearts with their hands. 6:11. The lethal dose begins. 6:35. The lethal injection process is over.
I didn't kill my roommate. Me and my roommate might didn't have the best relationship.
This is Shantarika Madden in the interrogation room for the suspected murder of her roommate, a young rising basketball star, Tina Stewart. She initially claims she was away from the apartment at the time of the murder, but it wouldn't take long for the detectives to poke holes in her story.
Now, you're at a critical point right now, all right? You're at a fork in the road.
That's what I'm telling you, because it's the truth.
Well, I don't believe you.
As the interrogation progresses, detectives stumble upon a carefully orchestrated killing, covered up with lies, distractions, and one crafty Shantarika right at the center of it.
Before I ask any more questions, would this be life?
There's a good possibility.
On March 2nd, 2011, 21-year-old Tina Stewart reported 18-year-old Shantarika for smoking in their off-campus shared apartment near Middle Tennessee State University. As an athlete, a rising basketball player, she feared that even secondhand The smoke could jeopardize her drug test results and her future. But as the campus officer walked away, darkness crept in behind the closed doors of the apartment. The evil that lurked in the darkness stabbed Tina, rupturing a major heart artery and puncturing her lung, leading to severe bleeding. The wounds ended Tina's aspirations, along with her life, in a brutally horrifying way. Shantarika was the first to reach the scene, so she was brought into the interrogation room to build an initial timeline. This interrogation demonstrates some of the most intriguing interrogation techniques implemented by one of the most seasoned detectives.
That apparently earlier this evening there was some sort of altercation between you and your roommate, and the other guy. Is that your boyfriend or is that her boyfriend?
That's her boyfriend.
That's her boyfriend. Now, does he live in the apartment too, or?
He always there, so I guess you could say.
Yeah, he lives there, just never leaves, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So start kind of early this afternoon and tell us what's going on. I think earlier a officer or a courtesy officer came to your apartment because there was a smell of some weed or out in the apartment. Is that right? Okay, now take me right around that time up until now and kind of explain to me how we got to this position.
Okay, when I got there, I don't know what time it was. I have no idea what time anything was. But my friend, she was like, can we go to your place? And I was like, okay, that's fine. And she was already smoking.
Yeah, who's your friend?
Her name Nene.
Nene?
Yeah, that's the only thing I know about is Nene.
Okay.
And she was like, okay. I was like, okay, so I went there to get my keys and we walked to my place. And I think we had been there like probably a few minutes. And I guess my roommate had called the front desk and front desk sent the police over. And I talked to him and he was basically like, if he searched my room and he didn't find anything, then it'll be cleared. And if I told him the truth, so he searched and he was like, well, you told the truth. And he said, but he's still gonna have to talk to the manager.
Now, was Nene there then, or?
Yeah, we were still there. And after he left, I talked to Tina, which is my roommate. I talked to her. And she kind of shoved me, and I kind of shoved her back. And then next thing I know, we was fighting.
Okay, what did she, back up just a little bit, okay? Now, is Nene still here during this time?
Yeah, okay.
Now, back up just a little bit. The courtesy officer leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, how did you get from the courtesy officer leaving to the shoving?
Oh,
what happened?
Well, after he left, he just walked me downstairs and talked, and then he left.
Okay.
Basically like that. And he was like...
And then you went back up?
Yeah, and I told him, thank you, and he said, have a good day, and I went back upstairs.
Okay. And then when you got back upstairs, what happened?
And then I knocked on her door and told her that I need to talk to her, and we talked. And it kind of got heated because we both kind of had attitude with each other.
Was she in her room?
Yeah.
So you knock on her door, which is closed.
On her door.
Okay.
And my hand was on the doorknob to wait for the open so I could twist it because it was locked. So I just kind of held my hand on the doorknob.
Okay.
And she unlocked it and I opened it. And we got into this little heated argument about that because she got mad at me for when I called the office on her. And she was like, well, why you didn't tell me this? Why you didn't tell me this? And then she kind of shoved me and I shoved her back.
What was she talking about?
I had called the office probably like a month ago, and I told them that I was having to see her boyfriend every day because he's not paying rent, so why is he there? And they basically just told us we had to talk about it, and we did talk about it. But she kind of still had this heat against me.
Yeah.
And then when we fought, she kind of just slammed my head, so she was pounding my head, and I was pounding her face, and just with my hand.
Okay.
And then she pushed me to the ground. When she had my head, she pushed me to the ground, so I was right on the ground. And I got up. And she was like, get out of my room, get out of my room. So I left. And I went in my room. And my friend, she had already had the door shut. So she was getting her stuff and she was leaving.
This is Nene.
This Nene. Nene left. And
now is, what's her boyfriend's name?
I don't know.
I think I have it somewhere. Well, okay. Was her boyfriend there? Okay, he wasn't there. So
I think she was talking to somebody on the phone when I interrupted her when I knocked on her door.
Okay, so but it was just you, Nene, and Tina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Nene, she was getting her stuff and she was leaving. And I was like, well, I just meet you back at the school. And my roommate, she was doing something. I think she was putting her shoes because I seen her kind of roaming around moving. because there's no what she was doing. And she turned down her TV, and she put on her jacket, and she walked out the door. And she ain't no keys, so I didn't think she was going too far. So I was already packing my stuff to go home for spring break.
What were you packing again?
A black bag. It probably was sitting outside.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Okay.
Yep.
As Shantarika begins to talk, the first incident she describes is her argument with Tina. But how strategically she portrayed herself as a victim is her first attempt to clear her name. She was shorter in height, which suggests that she could be telling the truth. But how much of the story is true is what the detectives would eventually find. Another part of the lie is that she built her alibi around Neen. Still, when the detectives investigated, they found no evidence of any other individual in the house other than Shantarika and Tina. This is just the beginning. Soon, she'll face questions she would have never expected.
And I was packing my stuff, and she was going out the door, and I kind of left, but I was going to walk to my cousin, but I walked all around the parking lot, kind of because I was trying to get out the nerves out of my system. And I didn't shut the door. I just kind of shut it. I didn't lock it. I didn't bring my keys with me. And so I called my mom. No, I called my friend first. My friend Compilation. I called her, and she was like, "Okay, what happened? How you get to fighting?" And I told her that we just got to fight, and she was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." And I told her to come get me, and she hung up. And then I called my mom, but she was like, "Did you call your mom?" And I was like, "No, I didn't call her." And so I called my mom. So she went and asked me, did I call her again? And my mom was like, "Well, what happened?" And I was telling her how we get to fight, and she was like, "They need to get you out that apartment," and stuff like that. And so I got off the phone with her, but my friend Carlisha called me back, and I told my mom I was gonna call her back. So I went upstairs to my room.
Now, during these phone conversations, you were outside.
I was still outside, and the door was still. It was like wasn't closed. I kind of shut it.
The front door.
I shut the door, and it wasn't closed. It was kind of like cracked, so I just thought she came back. And so I went in my room, and I had clothes in the dryer, so I just put them in the bag because they were still wet, but I still put them in the bag so I could just leave. And when I went in the kitchen, all the stuff was in my hand, everything just quiet besides her TV, so I couldn't hear nothing. But when I went back outside, I was going to go to my cousin, but I turned back around and went back upstairs. And I went back in my room because I was trying to fix my bed, and I had orange juice on the floor, so I put the orange juice back in the refrigerator. And through that time, Nene didn't call me or nothing like that, but my roommate car was still outside. So I'm thinking, okay, she ain't going nowhere. And probably like 30 minutes passed, I had her boyfriend come through the door, and he was like, I said, "She not here." I was like, "She was gone." And he was like, "She gone." So he turned back around, went to the door, turned back around, and I was going behind him, so we kind of bumped into each other. And he went to the door and he opened it, and he kind of left it cracked. And I was walking to my room, so when it was still cracked, I just kind of looked in, and he was bending down, and he started yelling, and my bag was on my shoulder. So I ran to the door, and my mom was like, "Run," because I was on the phone with her. I had called her back when I got back in the room. And she was like, "Leave, run." So I ran out the door, and I dropped my bag on the way there because he was behind me, and he was just yelling full stream. And I was running down the stairs, and I turned the corner and ran and hid by the car because he was still yelling. And I didn't hear him say officer, but I think he did say officer. And I think he was talking to the man that had me sit down on the curb. And they was looking for me, but I didn't want to be seen because he was still yelling. And so I kind of just got up and ran.
Did you see the officer at this point?
No, I didn't see the officer. And I kind of just ran. And then I heard the officer, this officer, I stopped. And he told me to sit down on the curb and talk it out. And the boyfriend was still kind of yelling, like, "Why you do this to her?" And I was like, "I didn't do that to her, I didn't." And he was like, "Why you do this to her?" I was like, "I didn't, I promise I didn't do that to her." Because I was outside the whole time, so I didn't know what happened to her. Because I thought she was gone. And that's it. But before I went outside the first time that I thought she was gone, it was a man sitting outside. And I seen this man before. He got dreads. He black, he got dreads, and he kind of tall. Everybody taller than me. But he got probably like 5'6". And this the third time I seen him over there. Last time he asked for her, and I was like, "She not here," because she be going out of town with basketball. I was like, "She not here." And he was like, "Okay." And the second time I was there alone, he been there every time I was alone. Second time I was there alone, he was like, he knocked on the door and I answered it, and I can't peek through the peephole because I'm so short, but I answered it anyway. And he was just at a rage, like, where's Tina? Where's Tina? I was like, Tina don't live here. Tina don't live here. And he was like, you lying, you lying. I was like, Tina don't live here. And he just kind of sort of left. And this time I went out the door, he was kind of sitting in his car, and I knew who he was because I seen him watching that car before. I don't know the name, I don't know the color. It's just everything looked dark to me because it was so dark outside. But he was kind of sitting in the car when I left. That's it.
Who is this mysterious man with dreads? She sounds convincing, but the detectives have heard better lies. They already know that Tina and Shantarika had a volatile relationship. Shantarika often quarreled with Tina over her boyfriend, Casey Anuna, visiting. His presence in their shared space made her uncomfortable. Shantarika felt her privacy was violated when she came out of the shower and Anuna was already present in the room. The dispute was even escalated to management, though Tina frequently missed meditation meetings due to basketball practice. All of this ultimately led to straining their relations even further. It seems to be a motive for Shantarika to murder Tina. Detectives will soon find out the truth. Coming back to the interrogation, what she currently does is exactly what a guilty suspect would do: introduce a mysterious man, perfectly timed, and vanish after the murder. A perfectly crafted defense, but the detectives will tear apart her manipulative narrative by poking holes.
So what do you think happened to Tina?
I don't know if that man went in the room because I did lock the door, and I might should have locked the door. But I didn't lock the door because I didn't have my key. But I don't know if he went in the room, but all I know, I did not kill Tina.
Now, I'm going to be straight with you, okay? Now, and Detective Mitchell's going to be straight with you. And I've been doing this for a long time, okay? See, well, I got it cut out, but see all my gray hair? That's what that's from, okay? Now, you're at a critical point right now, all right? You're at a fork in the road, okay? And I want to help you choose the right fork. Something bad happened tonight, okay? And you've got some marks on your face. I've been sitting here looking. It looks like your cheek might be a little bit swollen. You definitely got a scratch coming down your eye here. And I'd say if we checked, you probably got some more scratches. Looks like you might have a little scratch right here on your neck, okay? And I think something bad happened, okay? Now, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I don't think there was some other person, okay? I think what happened was you and Tina got into an argument, got into a physical fight that got a little out of hand. Okay, now listen to me, okay? Remember I talked about those crossroads, all right? And we want to make sure that you choose the right crossroad because you're not going to have another opportunity. If you go down the wrong path, then it's going to end bad for you, okay? I don't think there was another person there. All right. I think, like I said, something bad happened while you and Tina were in this fight, in this altercation. And, you know, I would like for you and your family and Tina and her family to have closure and to go ahead and put this behind you and to move on. I mean, I wouldn't want to look back tomorrow or the next day or 10 years or 20 or 30 years from now and have this on my conscience. I just wouldn't. Now, you know, it's the time where we can get it out, we can get your story out, we can figure out what happened, and we can put a closure to it for you and your family and for Tina and her family. You guys have known each other for a while, may not have been the best of friends, right? But you guys have known each other for a while. And I don't think this is a case where you plan to do this. I don't think this is a case where you planned, you know, sat in your room and thought, I'm gonna do this and you know, planned it out and did all this stuff. I think it was one of those things, just like you started out to tell us, where you guys got into an argument, you got into a physical altercation, and And I mean, like I said, you got scratches. It's evident you got into some sort of altercation, and something bad happened. You know, that happens to all of us. You know, bad things happen. Sometimes we let our emotions get the best of us, and then we do stuff that we can't take back. But listen to me, okay? I've been here. I've talked to a lot of people at this table, and trust me, you don't want to go home. You don't want to go lay your head down and live with this for the rest of your life, weighing on you. You don't want to. You want to get it out right now. You're a good person, and Tina was a good person. And we need to get the truth out right now so we can deal with it instead of waiting down the road and you having to bear the burden of this. It's going to get to you because, like I said, you're a good person. You're not somebody who goes out here and does this all the time. You're not some kind of gangbanger with no conscience. I can tell by talking to you. But you don't want to start out by saying, hey, there's another person that left the room. It just didn't happen. Like I said, I've been doing this for 15 years. That's a long time. And I'm not here the bad guy that's sitting like you see on TV. I'm not the bad guy. I'm not here trying to hurt you. I'm believe it or not, down the road you're going to look back and you're going to go, yeah, he was trying to help me. And I'm trying to help you clear your conscience right now so we can give closure to Tina and her family. And most importantly, give closure to you and your family.
It wouldn't take a genius to understand that she is lying through her teeth, mentioning that she left the door open. At once, Tina was about to have her basketball trials that would have kept her scholarship secured for the upcoming months. But Shantarika, the troublemaker for Tina, would often smoke in their shared apartment. Tina feared this would cost her scholarship, especially with the authorities conducting random drug tests. Frustrated, Tina raised the matter to the management and also sent tweets to show her rage and keep it in public record to secure her future and career. What detectives tried to do was implement a minimization technique on Shantarika, hoping she'd crack. In minimization, interrogators downplay the severity of the crime and offer moral justification for suspects. It increases the chances of a confession. Just when Shantarika thinks she is winning at her manipulative game, the detective changes his strategy to be even more aggressive.
Well, now let's start back from this argument. When the courtesy officer left, and you go in, her door's locked, right? You knock on the door. Now tell me, okay, Tina had, I think the paramedics were telling us was that she had like a single stab wound in her chest, okay? Now we need to know how she got that.
I'm being honest.
No, I don't think you
I
are.
promise I'm being honest. I'm not gonna lie to you because I know I didn't kill Tina.
I don't think you did so on purpose.
Me and Tina got to fighting, and when we fought, I left when she left. I was going to call my mother, but I called my friend first. And I was walking around the parking lot as I was calling everybody.
Let's do this. Let's do a little role playing, okay? Now, let's pretend like you're sitting in a courtroom, okay? And in that courtroom, sitting across from you are 12 people, called a jury. And those 12 people are going to decide your fate, okay? Those 12 people will decide whether or not you ever get out of prison, or whether or not when you get out of prison, you're an old lady. They're going to decide whether or not you have any children. They're going to decide whether or not you get to spend your children's birthday with them at a party, or whether or not you get to spend your kid's birthday looking through a glass. Okay? Now here's where this becomes important. It becomes important because you're going to put this story. This is the story that you're going to put in front of these 12 people. That me and my roommate got into a physical altercation. I went to her room, knocked on the door. We got into a physical altercation to where I had scratches, my cheeks a little swollen, and I left. And within the time frame of about 10 to 15 minutes, some unknown person came into the apartment and stabbed her. Okay? Do you like those odds? If I'm sitting in your chair, I don't like those odds, because I can guarantee you that those 12 people are going to do the same thing I'm doing. They're not going to believe it. Those 12 people are going to go, no, it don't happen that way. You and your roommate get into this big fight, and then the moment you leave, some unknown person comes in and stabs her. That don't even happen in movies. But that's what you're asking.
That's what I'm telling you, because it's the truth.
Well, I don't believe you.
So you don't have to, but I know I'm telling the truth.
Well,
I'm just
here's the
being
thing.
really honest with you.
No, I don't think you are. I don't think you are.
Even after switching from minimization to maximization, Shantarika continues to deny everything. But detectives can note a significant difference in her tone. The pressure has built successfully. If the detective continues this pressure-building tactic, a confession may be just within reach. During investigations, detectives found that some witnesses saw Shantarika carrying a kitchen knife wrapped in a blanket that she disposed of later in a dumpster. But until her role becomes clear in this crime, this evidence just stays as a bagged item for now. The question remains whether the detective would be able to capitalize on the moment, or would she get away with the murder? As the interrogation unfolds, the detectives begin to expose her insensitive side.
Whatever you do, what you do. Because I was saying this today, and it's not good. But I'm being honest. From the time I left, from the time I called my mom and my friend and went back to my room, Tina was in her room with me. I didn't think nothing was wrong with Tina. Because when Tina left, Tina seemed fine. I'm the only one that feel like I'm in pain because my eyes are hurting me. And I got this stretch that even know right there, and my jaw feels full.
Now, you do understand that your roommate is laying over on a cold table at the hospital, right?
Yep.
And you're going to sit here and complain that your eyes hurting?
Well, my eyes been hurting all day. But I didn't kill my roommate. Me and my roommate didn't have the best relationship.
Who did?
I don't know. But I can give you a description of that male that's been to my apartment more than one time.
I don't think the male had anything to do with it.
I hadn't been there. I hadn't been to my apartment.
I don't think the male had anything to do with it.
Yes, he did, sir. I didn't kill her.
When Shantarika realizes that the detectives are closing in on her defense, she makes a desperate attempt to shift the focus to the intruder, a mystery man, nameless, with dreads, who conveniently appears, murders Tina, and then vanishes in the shadows. But there was something even more shocking than the murder of an upcoming star. After the autopsy team revealed the time of death, it was found that minutes after Tina died, text messages were sent from her phone to mislead her boyfriend that she was still alive. The question of who tried to cover up the brutality lingers until the interrogation takes a sharp, unexpected turn.
Okay. Now, after the courtesy officer left and you went to Tina's room, and her door was locked, you knocked on the door, what was the conversation that took place?
I basically asked her, I was like, why did you call me? Why you just didn't talk to me?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, do you remember the time you went to the office and you didn't talk to me? And I was like, yeah, but you still could have talked to me. I hadn't been here, so I hadn't been a problem to you. And she was like, well, I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of turned off and turned around and was going towards my room, but I think I kind of bumped into her, and that's why she shoved me. And when she shoved me, I kind of shoved her back.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when we just started hitting each other.
Mm-hmm. And then what happened?
And after we hit each other, when she hit me and she put me to the floor, I kind of got up and I was going out the door because she said leave. And I was going to my room. And Nene was getting ready to leave. Nene had already had her stuff and she was going out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, well, I'll see you when I get back to the campus.
Okay.
You're going to campus because I think she said she was going to get something to eat. And I was like, okay, I'm going to see you when you get to the campus because Subway still be open all day. And so Tina, she was.
Now, did you ever go back in there?
Into the tenant room?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I went back in my room. And Tina, I heard her rumbling, so I guess she was putting on her clothes and stuff and about to leave. But then she had on her jacket, but she didn't have her keys in her hand. And that's why I assumed she wasn't going too far.
Mm-hmm.
So, because normally when she do that, she don't go too far. She just go visit somebody's room or something like that.
Okay.
And
so you after this argument, physical altercation. Now, correct me if I did anything wrong. Okay. After this physical altercation, you leave her room, go back into your room. Nene gets her stuff together and leaves.
Mm-hmm.
After she leaves, Tina comes out of her room, and Tina leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you're still getting your stuff together.
Yeah, because I still had clothes in the dryer.
You still have clothes in the dryer.
So I was
getting
my
your stuff
bag.
together. Then at some point in time, you leave.
Yeah, I left.
Did you ever go back in Tina's room?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So Tina's already gone. Nene's already gone. You leave. Correct? Now, when you go out, you didn't see Tina anywhere.
Oh, I didn't see
Nene's gone.
I didn't see anyone when I left.
Okay.
The first time when I left, when I went out the door, only person I didn't see Tina, I didn't see Nene, was that man.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, well, let's leave the man out of it for right now. Okay. So you go outside, you're on the phone, talking on the phone, you're out there hanging out for a little bit, and then Tina's boyfriend,
he didn't come yet.
all right, he didn't come yet. So then you go back up to the room.
I went back to the room, and
Doors
I assumed Tina was
open.
in her room.
Doors open.
Her door was closed.
No, I'm talking the front door.
No, it was slight open because I had shit it all the way.
Right.
And
It's
I
cracked.
just kind of pushed it open and I shit it.
Okay, so you kind of push it open, and then you go in, you go to Tina's room.
No, I go to my room.
You go to your room.
Yeah, because Tina's room, I assumed that she was, just chilling or gone because her door was closed and her lights was off. All I could hear was her TV because she just turned it down.
Okay. So then, shortly thereafter, her boyfriend comes in.
Yeah, he comes in.
And you're in your room. Okay, so he goes in the...
No, I'm not in my room.
Okay.
I'm sitting in the kitchen because I still had clothes that I was trying to put in
Okay,
bed.
so you're sitting in the kitchen. He then goes into...
He just come in.
Right.
I didn't lock it, I just shit.
Right, he just walks in. He then goes into Tina's room.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I stopped and I was like, she not here because when I left, she had left before me. So I was like, she not here because I thought she was still gone. And he was just kind of like, okay. And he turned back around. And I had my bag. And he walked like this. And we met up like this. And he just walked back to her room and opened the door. And he kind of left it cracked. Because I was walking back to my room to make sure I got everything. And I could see him when he bent down. And he just started streaming. He was like, why you did this to her? Why you do this to her? And I was like, do what? Do what? And I just
now, where
kind
are
of
you
looked
at
at
this
her.
time?
I'm right there in the doorway because he still had it cracked, so I'm just kind of looking.
Were you in the room?
Yeah, I had kind of pushed the door open so I could see what he was talking about.
Right.
And I seen her on the floor, and he was like, "You did this to her. You did this to her." I was like, "I didn't do nothing to her." And so he started chasing me, and I ran to the door, opened the door, and I dropped my bag.
Yeah. Now, did he ever touch you or anything?
No, he was just running like he was like, "Come here, come here," and I just kept running.
He never touched you. Okay. All right.
She was like, "I don't know what just happened, but I'm not trying to be in it." And she left. And I came back in my room, and I got through with my clothes. I put my clothes in the dryer because I had just took them out the washing machine before the police had showed up. And then I just shut her door, and I was like, do I need to call the police? Do I need to call the police? Do I need to find a number that the man gave me? I need to call him. I didn't mean for this to happen. And I didn't want to cry, but I called my friend, and I told her to come get me. And I didn't want to tell her the whole story. I just wanted to keep it at a minimum and just wait. If something happened like this, I was just gonna come and tell it. And Tina, she wasn't moving; she was just sitting there. And I just shut her door and turned off her light. And I went outside. I did walk around the parking lot, and I went outside. And I called my friend, and I called my mom. And I went back upstairs, and her boyfriend, he just busted through the front door, like he just stayed there. And I just kind of looked at him, and I was like, well, she not here. And I just told him that so he wouldn't be worried. And so he kind of turned around, and he went back, opened the door, and turned on her light, and the door was cracked, and I seen him bend down. And I went back, I was in my room. I was going towards my room when my door was open. And he kind of bent down and rolled her over, and he started yelling. And I had my bag on my shoulder, so I was running out the door because he was just yelling at me like he wanted to strangle me or something. And I just ran out because I got scared. And I was in the process of calling, trying to find the campus police number instead of dialing 911. But he just scared me when he did that. And I just ran around the thing. And I bent down behind the car, and I still could hear him yelling. But I didn't know if he was saying police or if he was saying he gonna call the police. And I kind of got up when I seen him come past that car that I was beside, and I ran forward, and then that's when I heard the police say something. And that's when I stopped because I knew it was police.
Okay. Well, that feel better. Get that. You don't want to carry that around with you, do you?
Shantarika finally cracks under pressure, confessing the stabbing to be an accident. All the lies that she mounted in her defense finally fell apart as the detectives built psychological pressure. From minimization to maximization and limiting options, all techniques worked flawlessly, which led to her confess to the crime. But the most shocking part that remained hidden was that Shantarika attempted to clean up the evidence, hiding the murder weapon, the knife, in a garbage bag to conceal her involvement. She was the one who sent misleading texts from Tina's phone to appear if she were still alive, instead of calling 911. These added 4 additional years to her sentence. If Tina had chosen to change her room, would the outcomes have been different? And if management had taken the matter even more seriously, could they have stopped this murder? Shantarika Madden was finally arrested on the night of March 2, 2011. She was sentenced to 29 years in prison for the fatal stabbing of Tina Stewart. On July 17, 2012, Judge Don Ash handed down the sentence of 25 years for second-degree murder and an additional 4 years for tampering with evidence, leaving Shantarika with no chance of release. 29 years behind bars.
I've never, being hit from behind and another mother with something in their hanging from the front. I thought they were going to try to kill.
It all began when a fight broke out at a weekend gathering between 3 people on October 23, 2023. Instead of ending on a good note, the weekend house party ended with 2 people dead. The victims were identified as 22-year-old Corey Moore and 58-year-old Craig DeWitt. Based on the witness statements, the investigation quickly pointed to 44-year-old Marty Dotson as the main suspect, and what resurfaced next was a series of secrets that left the police stunned.
I was hit with something by somebody else was coming at me. And I think you know why you guys started fighting. I don't know why you don't want to tell me.
Although the evidence against Marty was substantial, his motive remained unclear. What began as a small weekend gathering ended in a brutal double homicide.
Had they not attacked me, they would still be.
On October 23, 2023, 58-year-old Craig DeWitt and 22-year-old Corey Moore were found dead in the back bedroom of a mobile home. The bodies were found at Whispering Pines Mobile Homes on U.S. Route 62 in Pickaway County, Ohio. The neighbors and family found the bodies after noticing the victims hadn't been seen for days. As per a witness and the CCTV visuals showing Marty's vehicle, the police arrested 44-year-old Marty Dotson as a suspect. While investigating the crime scene, the police found blood stains all over the hallway of the residence. The moment Marty entered the interrogation room, the air shifted, dragging with him a trail of chilling revelations that no one was prepared to confront.
I asked you who the fourth person was, and that's where you kind of want to talk a little more. If you just want to go ahead and tell us your side of the story, you're more than welcome to do that. Who owes their money? It was me, Todd, and Corey. The only reason, things ended up the way they did is had they not attacked me, they would still be. What that fourth person has to do with it, and y'all haven't spoken to the fourth person.
Who's the fourth person? I can tell you if I spoke to him or not. I can't tell you I spoke to the fourth person, thought who it is. I spoke to a lot of people during this whole investigation. 25, probably. Tell me how they attacked you.
Well, I was hit in the back of the head by Todd with something. Corey was in front of me. He kept saying something about Phillips' head screwdriver. That's how we said Phillips' head screwdriver.
You said that Todd was when you guys went over there to have a little get together and we're drinking some whiskey.
Yeah.
And then
smoke.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys are all hanging out?
And I don't know what made it go south. Todd started talking about going to West Virginia, and next thing you know, so you guys have been in that trailer, you've seen it look like a train wreck, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like I said, what made it go south, but I was hit with something, thought somebody else was coming at me with what looked like a weapon. I think I took it, a little further, making sure somebody was dead a little more than I needed to, but I honestly believe had I not done what I did, I wouldn't be the one sitting there. And that fourth person ain't got a damn thing to do with it. They, that I know of, was not a part of fighting.
So when they attacked you, what did you do?
I reacted.
Okay, tell me what you did by reacting. What did you do?
But when I was hit from behind, I turned around and grabbed Todd and threw him into Corey, and then stabbed the living out of both of them.
Okay. Right there? In the living room?
Yeah.
Okay. Then what did you do?
And I let it.
What did you do?
Up to Columbus to try to, talk to somebody about, what I do now, And thank God the day y'all come looking for me, my little cousin told me that, I stand the chance of going with self-defense, except for
Marty gives no outright information about the fourth person in question. This is probably his tactic to hide his real motive behind murdering Craig and Corey. And that's not even the worst part. Despite a look of helplessness, Marty smartly avoids many details while recounting the events before the murders. But despite the lack of clarity, Marty is about to make a statement that would shatter his facade of dumbness.
the judge will say I, excessive force. person, but I never, being hit from behind and another mother with something in their hand from the front. I thought they were going to try to kill. So,
would you use the stun?
I don't know, Todd was a big knife.
Where's it at?
It was laying on the floor.
Where'd you get it?
The coffee table.
So you go up to Columbus and talk to your little cousin. What'd you do after that?
It was actually my uncle. And then I went to Dayton to talk to my little cousin today. You guys come looking for me. I thought, I had no chance of winning the case until I told him the story. He said, if you defended yourself, you do have a chance.
You left the night there.
Yeah.
Where was your clothes at that you had?
The clothes that I had.
Yeah, the clothes you wore that night. That you
What you had on?
Because you said I'd been in that house and it looked like a train wreck, right? What you said to me. I was in that house and it looked like a slaughterhouse. Okay?
Right.
So you had blood on you.
Yeah.
You had blood on your clothes. Where are they at?
You guys have to forgive me. Really drunk and high.
Take your time. The clothes when we arrested you, was the clothes you had on the night that you stabbed these two gentlemen? How long was you in Dayton for?
6 or 8 hours.
Let's back up a little bit. What time did this all happen?
Sometime between sundown Sunday and sun up Monday. I really was not paying attention to no time.
Was it Sunday night into Monday, Saturday night into Sunday? Do you remember the day?
It was Sunday night into Monday.
Okay.
What the hell, I would have took the clothes off anywhere, but outside at my house.
Was you at your house?
I went to my house. After Columbus, I went back home.
Are they at your house?
I don't know where else I would have took them off and had other clothes to put on.
Do you remember what you were wearing?
No. No. Judging by the weather, probably a pair of shorts, a t-shirt. Tennis shoes.
As Marty talks about using a knife to kill Corey and Craig, the detectives get a hint that there is more to the story. For instance, it's quite absurd that Marty didn't call the police after killing 2 people out of self-defense. Another evidence that debunks Marty's defense is the condition in which the room was left when the men were murdered. The murder evidence made it clear that the stab wounds inflicted by Marty were not typical of those made from self-defense. What follows only makes these inconsistencies more evident.
You don't remember what they were arguing with you about or what started this?
Do you remember where he was sitting at? I was sitting on the couch, Corey was sitting on the other end of the couch, and Todd was sitting here in the chair. And not Todd was very belligerent, and he, had took a half of a can of Coors Light and threw it on me. I don't know what he threw at Corey. As God's my witness, 44 years on this earth, I don't ever remember watching somebody go from like hateful toward everybody to them and another person drawing that in and then going after another person for something they've not done.
So this is Todd's house, right?
Yeah.
And how long you known Todd?
About 14 years.
Todd Wolf, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
He's up there in age, isn't he?
About 57.
He has some health issues.
Yeah. That's why would he hit me in the back of the head with something? Why? With his size being, I can't say half handicapped, but, for him to, this don't make any sense. Was there some arguing going on before he got hit? Remember me telling him not to be, throwing cans of beer. And there was some arguing between Todd, the fourth person, and Corey about the quality of the drugs. But I had nothing to do with it.
Corey wasn't satisfied with the drugs?
Right.
Were they fake or were they ripped off?
I don't know if they were given something different than I was given.
Shorted?
No, it wasn't about being short. It was about the quality.
Corey was upset about that?
Yeah. I can't figure out what made it go south.
What did Corey have to do with it? It sounds like from you telling me it's between you and Todd. What did Corey have to do with it?
I don't know why it would come at me. But I wasn't the one providing the drugs.
So Corey's a little feller too, isn't he?
6 foot.
What, he's about 125?
Yeah.
You're a big boy.
I know that, sir. So why would them two think they could come at me and come out victorious? Liquid Giant? Yeah.
The moment Marty shifts blame onto Todd, cracks begin to show in his facade. It's quite obvious that Marty was an active participant in the altercation that led to the tragic deaths of Craig and Corey. Another dead giveaway is Marty's reluctance to explain why he was at the scene. At this point, it is safe to assume that Marty is trying his hardest to throw Todd under the bus by continuously blaming him. So to stop this cycle of hide and seek, the detectives are going to use an accusatory interrogation technique.
I think you remember what you want to remember, okay? And I think you know why you guys started fighting. And I don't know why you don't want to tell them, okay? But you remember this and you remember that, but when I ask you something that might implicate you, you don't remember. I don't buy that. I've done this for a little bit, okay? So, tell me why you got to argue. Somebody just don't come after you with something in their hand that hits you in the head, and you don't know why. You guys been there all weekend, haven't you? Yeah. Yeah. You guys been there all weekend. So, I can't sit here, Marty, and believe you when I know that you know why you don't want to tell. And if it can help you, then you better start telling me, okay? Because I'm not buying it. I'm not buying you don't know why. Something was said, something was done. You know what you was arguing about. If you was arguing over drugs, so be it. We're not the drug police. I don't care about them drugs other than the fact that it played a role in this. You know, because you guys were all high. You admitted to that. And I don't remember arguing with them. I remember them two arguing with the fourth person. Did you intervene with that argument? Did you take up for that fourth person? I just said that I didn't see the problem with the problem.
Todd was angry about the crack too.
He was angry about losing his brother.
Right. Todd sitting across from me in the chair.
He's right here.
Diagonal.
Yeah.
What side is Corey on this side of you? Is Corey on that side?
On this side of the couch.
Okay. So you're on the side of the couch closest to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then they start fighting or arguing.
Mm-hmm. Where did the fourth person go? I don't remember. Something was said about me being in on it, and I told them, you know, they thought that was the case, you know. And that's when I stood up and we went at it. Now this fourth person, could we vouch for you on this? Could maybe confirm what you're saying? You were fine, sir. Now that it's all over, it's as if that fourth person orchestrated this for it to look exactly like what you guys think that it is. I'm just some, big lumbering idiot that kills people. We did kill 2 people. But in order for me and this man here to try to help you in any way, we need to know the truth. We were fucked up. I'm sorry that I don't remember where I took my clothes off.
You weren't angry until, or correct me, you weren't upset about nothing until you got hit in the head. And that made you angry?
Well, no, when they went from arguing with her, then started, saying like I had a part in it, my anger started to grow at that point.
Todd and Corey were accusing you
of being a part of her, okay, giving, them a different quality drug than she was giving them.
Did she bring 1 package or 3 packages?
She had 4 or 5, brother.
4 or 5?
Marty's confession about the drug-related ordeal pops up out of nowhere, Many violent altercations start with seemingly minor disagreements that spiral out of control, reminding us how fragile human interactions can be when combined with underlying tensions. This gives a solid lead into the possible cause of the violent argument.
You have a statement from the fourth person. Like he said, who's the fourth person? We've talked to multiple people. And I forget which one of them mentioned it first. Like I said, Todd doesn't do it. Have him beer on him and stuff. And then about the dope and all that. And then started talking about taking turns. Why is it not going on? And I think he knew at that point, the only reason he hit me in the back and just because he was behind me. And whatever Corey tried to come at me, they, you know, like you said, they knew they had their hands full. So, but I don't know why they take turns, you know, with my wife, whatever.
They know your wife?
Yeah, they would have had to. I know because when we bought our house, next door in 2009.
Okay.
But, you know, even me starting to go off, I hadn't grabbed that knife if it was like.
What kind of knife was it?
I don't remember.
Paring knife, a steak knife, a butcher knife? I mean, you'd been there for the whole weekend.
Right.
I would have thought you would have seen it laying there, whether it was on the counter or on the coffee table. I mean, I pay attention to things like that. I think we all do.
Yeah, but you're not sitting there smoking.
You know what, I get that. Yep.
I believe it was a lock blade I had asked Todd to sharpen for me. If he had told me earlier that day to check it and see, I was more worried about getting hot. You know, it was down, I grabbed it there off the table.
Did you open it?
No, it was already open.
You know what color it was? It's your knife.
Yeah, it was pink. My favorite color, pink. Who'd you start fighting with first? It was Todd that hit me from behind. So I guess you would say him.
At what point did you get behind?
Well, when they're sitting there, you know, it was like they were trying to get me to come up the way they was talking to me. And Todd had went from behind me to in front of me, from, you know, back and forth more than once. And he hit me with something. And that's why I grabbed him and threw him into Corey, because I seen Corey had something in his hand. I don't.
Corey say anything? You? No.
No, once it started, no, I don't recall nothing being said.
How big was your knife?
It's just a regular, you know, lock blade.
Like 3-inch blade, 5-inch blade?
Say 3.
I mean, long as that pin?
Yeah.
Unfolded or folded?
Unfolded, it might have been, you know, yeah.
About a 5-inch blade maybe?
No.
3-inch blade maybe?
Yeah, I'd say 3.
What'd you do with it?
It's laying there somewhere.
No smell. Nothing. No smell.
It ain't laying. Okay.
don't have it. I probably would have showed it to you by now. But I have it. I don't have it. I want it. I want you to tell me where you put it.
I would talk to the person who gave me a ride to Columbus.
Every statement Marty makes is riddled with inconsistencies. Throughout the interrogation, Marty gives no clue about who this mysterious fourth person was, and nor does he clarify what sparked the violence. Would Marty's so-called dumbness protect him from the face of justice? On March 13, 2024, Marty pleaded guilty to 1 count of murder and 1 count of voluntary manslaughter. His plea deal was accepted as of March 14, 2024, and Marty has yet to receive his sentencing in 2025. Marty might receive 15 years to life in prison for the murder conviction and an additional 11 to 16 and a half years in prison for voluntary manslaughter, to be served consecutively.